passing right-hander Bowden Francis going for Toronto. We'll have lineups, standings, first pitch, and more coming up on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000-plus home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Embrace the power.
Start your engine.
And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on Sirius XM.
Battle the start-finish line. Alexander Rossi goes to P1.
Hear every thrilling moment of the 2025 IndyCar season, including the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500.
The green flag flies. They reach the yard of bricks.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern with the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218 and the Sirius XM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Radio Network.
Varsh, obviously, here back and playing. Probably going to be some days where he needs a blow. Kind of just built into what he's doing now, but he's going to be out there fairly regularly. I think he's been, his timing has been good at the plate, but you want to make sure when he is back, there's no real restrictions. He's obviously a big part of our team. There's power potential. There's all sorts of things that he can do to help you win. Not asking him to do too much. Come, like the world on fire. Just fit in with the lineup and be Varsh, really.
Dalton Varsho making his season debut today, activated off the injured list just a couple hours before the ballgame. We're getting set for Game 1 at Rogers Center between the Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, how big of a deal is it for the Blue Jays to have Dalton Varsho back?
Well, it's a huge deal, and I think that we'll be able to feel that tonight. He's great in the field. He's great in the clubhouse. He has that power potential. I don't love the matchup against Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet is very tough on lefties. Maybe push that debut until tomorrow. But if anybody can do it, it's Dalton Varsho. I'm excited to see what he can do against Garrett Crochet.
We'll let you know how Varsho fits into the lineup in just a second, but first let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Right now, the New York Yankees leading the AL East 17-12. They're in action against the Orioles tonight. The Boston Red Sox 16-14, a game and a half back in second. Rays are 14-14, Blue Jays 13-15, and the Orioles 11-17. Chris, who is in the lineup starting with Alex Cora's Boston Red Sox?
Well, leading off for the Red Sox is Jarren Duran. He's in left field. Rafael Devers will be DHing tonight. He's batting second. Batting third is Alex Bregman. He's at third base. In the cleanup spot is Trevor Story. He's at shortstop. In right field is Willier Abreu. He's hitting fifth. Hitting sixth is Christian Campbell. He's at second base. At first base is Tristan Casas. He's batting seventh. Batting eighth is Cedon Rafaela. He'll be in center field tonight. And batting ninth is Carlos Narvaez. He'll be doing the catching. And on the mound for the Red Sox is lefty Garrett Crochet. For the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off is Bo Bichette. He's at shortstop. Batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's at first base tonight. In right field, batting third is Anthony Santander. In the cleanup spot is George Springer. He's DHing. Behind the dish is Alejandro Kirk. He's batting fifth. Hitting sixth, making his season debut, is Dalton Varsho. He's in center field. Batting seventh is Ernie Clement. He's at third base. At second base, hitting eighth is Andres Jimenez. And batting ninth is Miles Straw. He's in left field. On the mound is righty Bowden Francis.
Francis making his sixth start of the season, 2-3 with a 3.58 ERA in 27 2/3 innings. The righty has struck out 22. He's walked 9 so far. For Francis, 6'5", 220 pounds from Tallahassee, Florida. His last start was at Houston. It was a solid, maybe not remarkable outing for Bowden. 4 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. They did lift him a little early. They were coming up on an off day. They had a lot of bullpen guys available, and that hadn't thrown in the Astros series yet. So they probably lifted him a little earlier than maybe he needed to due to the performance.
Yeah, like you said, he wasn't incredible in his last start, but we've kind of gotten used to Bowden Francis being incredible. So when he's not that guy out there, it's almost like, what's wrong with Bowden? He gave up 3 runs today. Sometimes he'll have a little bit of a speed bump. He won't be perfect. I expect him to be good tonight.
Faces a very tough lineup trying to do that. The Boston Red Sox coming off a series win over the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays in the field, ready to go. They're in their all-whites, royal blue caps. The Red Sox are in their road grays, and it's Jarren Duran, the left-handed hitter, leading off in the box. Hands out from his chest. Duran waggles the bat, looks at Francis. Righty kicks and offers. First pitch fastball, strike one. 7:08 Eastern is time of first pitch in downtown Toronto. Roof is closed at Rogers Center. It's actually 21 degrees, but not the most settled weather today as the 0-1 pitch is fouled back. 0-2. A lot of wind and some threats of rain throughout the day, so they've kept the roof closed, which means I'm not sure if we'll hear it if the Leafs score, and I will have to wait and see, but perhaps just a little bit down the road we will hear if action goes on in the hockey game.
Well, the only thing that I'm worried about is the traffic after this ballgame. That's all I'm worried about.
0-2. Swing and a deep drive right field. Santander tracking back at the warning track. It's gone. Jarren Duran into the bullpen, and he's got a leadoff home run off Bowden Francis to make it 1-0 Boston.
Well, that was an elevated four-seam fastball that Jarren Duran did a good job just getting on top of, but he's been swinging the bat a little bit better recently. He was 4 for 6 in his last game. That's a guy that I love watching swing the bat. A big home run right there to lead off this ball game.
He's going to put on the Wally the Green Monster mask and head down into the Red Sox dugout. Francis was ahead of him 0-2, but Duran strikes for the homer, and now 1-0 score. Swing and a miss by Rafael Devers. 0-1. This first inning brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 0-1 pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That actually wasn't a bad pitch. It was about a ball and a half above the strike zone. Jarren Duran just did a really nice job getting on top of it.
1-1. Poked foul to the right. 1-2. Like Jarren Duran, it hasn't been a terrible start by any means, but it's still a slow start for Rafael Devers. Got off to a historically slow start to this year. Reined that in, but is back in a bit of a funk. 1-2. Fouled off. When we last saw Devers, when the Blue Jays were at Fenway Park in early April, he had come out of the woods after the 0-for-19 start and went 10-for-19 going into the Blue Jays series, but then he got a little cold again. He's hitting .216 on the year. 1-2 pitch, high and outside, 2-2.
Does have 4 homers and 17 RBIs, though, to go along with that .216 average. That means he's coming up with guys on base, and he's coming through.
2-2. Fouled off to the left. It's a 4-seam fastball for Francis. His lead pitch. Throws a splitter, curve, slider, and sinker as well.
Bowden's actually averaging 92 A little bit over 92 miles an hour with that fastball, and he's been about 94, 93 so far this evening.
2-2. In the dirt with the splitter. Full count. Is that a good thing to you, or do you worry a guy's amped up when that happens?
It all depends. If you're locating that 94, it's probably better, but sometimes when you have a little bit of extra juice, you don't locate as well.
His 3-2 is swatted on the ground as shortstop, backhanded by Bichette. Throws on to first in a stretch from Guerrero to bring it in. 1 out.
That was a really nice play from Bo Bichette. That ball was hit really hard off the bat of Devers. Bichette backhanded that ball perfectly on the short hop and made a nice throw across the diamond for out number 1.
It looked from up here, too, like it had some spin, tailing almost toward more true left field. But Bichette cut it off before it could get to left center. So 1 out, 1-0 Boston off the leadoff Duran homer, and the pitch to Alex Bregman hit foul, 0-1.
And sometimes, to kind of continue on that velocity question, sometimes when you have a little bit of extra juice, like Bowden Francis does, you become more of a thrower than a pitcher because you think that you can, psychologically, you think that you can just throw balls by guys.
0-1 line foul, 0-2.
You end up leaving balls over the middle. You end up throwing that four-seamer a little bit straighter than you would if you had maybe a 90 or 91 mile an hour fastball. But like I said, if you're locating that 94 better or the same as you would a 91 or a 92, I think you're all good.
0-2. Hit high in the air, slicing it down the right field line, and that's going to go into the seats. Foul. Well, Duran and Devers might be off to slightly slow starts. Not Alex Bregman. Enters today batting .319. On base plus slugging well above 900. He's got 5 home runs. The 0-2. Hits one deep out to left. And that one looks like home run number 6. Bregman into the second deck down the left field line. 2-0 Boston.
Well, that was just a little floating split finger. It was actually at the bottom of the strike zone, but it didn't really have much movement on it. Kind of just floated to the bottom of the strike zone. And Alex Bregman did a really nice job going down and just golfing it out of here. Nice swing from him.
So 6 home runs now and 23 RBIs for Alex Bregman. A majestic home run that stayed just inside the foul pole and left, and it's 2-0 with only 1 out in the top of the first. Francis to Trevor Story, swing and a miss, strike 1.
I have to be honest, watching the replay on that pitch, it was a little bit more middle than it was down at the bottom of that strike zone.
0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Story, right-handed hitting shortstop. Wears white undershirt below his gray jersey. The 1-1. Hit foul to the right, 0-2. Big positive for the Red Sox to have Trevor Story playing in game 30 of his season. It's game 31 for Boston. Story only appeared in 26 last year and 43 the year before that. One-two count, 1 out, bases empty, 2-0 Boston. The pitch. Hit very high near shortstop. Bo Bichette walking in on the infield dirt. Now shuffles to his left and makes the catch. 2 outs.
That's a good pitch right there. Bowden Francis was trying to elevate with that fastball. You can see Kirk set up around the top of the strike zone, and he executed to perfection. Trevor Story probably thinking something off speed was coming, maybe a split finger, and was fooled by that fastball.
Francis trying to contain the damage. 2 solo home runs, 1 from Duran, 1 from Bregman. Boston up 2-0. 2 outs, and he offers to Wilyer Abreu. Fastball down the middle, strike 1. Home plate umpire tonight is Mike Estabrook. It's Derek Thomas at first base. Eric Backus at second. Brian O'Nora, the crew chief, at third. The 0-1. High. A little bit outside as well. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bearded left-handed hitter Abreu plays right field today. .273 average, 5 homers. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Beat him with an elevated heater, 1-2.
Just blew that fastball by him. That one at 92.
Francis into the wind and the 1-2. Poked in the air, foul left side, and that one is going to get out of play, fading into the seats about 6 rows up.
Again, a little bit of a floating split finger there from Bowden Francis. He has to get on top of that split finger to have that devastating action that he gets a lot, that downward movement on that split finger. Probably his best pitch. That one right there just floated up there, kind of to the middle of the strike zone.
The 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Like that one right there. If he started that in the strike zone, I'm almost guaranteeing that Abreu would have offered at that pitch. It started below the strike zone, so Abreu noticed that out of the hand and didn't offer at it.
Now the 2-2. Popped up left side. Ernie Clement onto the outfield turf, waving his arms in the air, makes the catch, and ends the inning. Red Sox get a pair solo home runs from Jarren Duran and Alex Bregman, have Boston up 2-0 middle of the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and they're only on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
The stage is set.
Round 1, new rivalries emerge.
Not going to take long to heat up here.
And old ones intensify.
You got to love playoff hockey, don't you?
16 teams, 1 champion. Will this be the year Stanley comes back to Canada?
Strap yourselves in for the best ride in sports. You can feel the intensity.
Watch every game only on Sportsnet.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here for the Cup.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue at Rogers Center. 2-0, the Red Sox lead the Blue Jays. First pitch to Bo Bichette, inside, ball 1. Getting the start today for the Red Sox, the new ace brought in from the White Sox in the offseason, 25-year-old left-hander Garrett Crochet. He kicks high, deals home, and Bichette rips it on the ground through the whole left side of the infield and into left field for a base hit.
Good start for the Toronto Blue Jays there. A good swing from Bo Bichette. You could tell he's not trying to do too much with that swing there. Just finds a hole on the left side of the infield for a big start for this team.
Hard to do a lot, especially in one at-bat against Garrett Crochet. 6'6", 245-pound left-handers, 2-2 with a 1.95 ERA in 37 innings pitched, and that's coming off his worst start of the year. He has a 1.95. Faces Vlad Guerrero Jr., the lefty from the stretch. Bichette takes off, pitch high and outside a ball, throw down to second way high. Bo slides in under the tag, and he's got a stolen base. Pitch was a ball, so there's a runner in scoring position, and Crochet is behind in the count to Vlad.
I like how aggressive he was there. Kind of lulled him to sleep. Didn't look like he was going to steal, and then just took off on pitch number 1. I love that.
So a runner on second, no outs, 2-0 Boston. 1-0. Swing and a foul off to the right. Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Crochet in his last start against Seattle on the 24th gave up 4 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings. He did walk 5 in that game, struck out 9. Lefties 1-1. Called strike. Four-seamer, cutter, sinker, sweeper, changeup for Crochet. Left-hander sets, brings the glove to his chest. Kicks and offers. And misses up and in at 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's not fun. 97 up around the letters, up and in to Vlad. He steps out of the batter's box for a quick second. He's back in now.
Over 200 strikeouts last year. His 2-2. Down and in, ball 3. Bottom of the first inning. Infield playing to pull against Vlad. Runner on second, Bo Bichette. Nobody out. The 3-2. Popped up right side of the infield. Racing back onto the right field turf, Christian Campbell, the second baseman, with an over-the-shoulder catch. Tough play and a bit of an adventure for him out there, but he reeled it in, 1 out.
Well, I'm not sure what Wilyer Abreu was doing over there in right field. As an outfielder, you have to call off your second baseman. That's a tough play for Christian Campbell going out to the outfield. I actually thought he was going to drop it for a split second, but a big out for the Boston Red Sox nonetheless.
He was stepping awkwardly, almost like he was expecting someone to call him off, but got to the ball in time, retires Vladdy, and now 1 out with Bo Bichette still on second. 2-0 Boston, bottom of the first. The pitch to Santander. Outside. Switch hitter Santander batting from the right side. He hit his 3rd home run of the season in the Blue Jays' last game. That one in New York against the Yankees on Sunday. The 1-0. Swing and a foul off to the right, 1-1. On the season, Anthony Santander hitting .179, .562 on base plus slugging, 3 home runs. Kicked away some dirt near his back right foot, now stands up tall in his stance. The 1-1. Way outside, 2-1.
And Crochet's already had a couple of big misses in this at-bat. That one right there, about 3 or 4 balls off the plate, almost in the middle of that left-handed batter's box.
His 2-1. Misses well high, ball 3.
And keep in mind, Garrett Crochet did have 5 walks in his last start against Seattle. He gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, along with those 5 walks. So he's a guy that could potentially lose the strike zone from time to time.
His 3-1. Bichette takes off for third. Pitches high, a ball, throw down to third, and they got him. It'll be a walk for Santander. The Blue Jays are going to think about this for a sec, but for now, Bo Bichette is out, and he is walking back to the dugout, so I don't think he thinks he's safe. Blue Jays will not challenge.
I like the aggressiveness with 1 out, standing on second base, but I don't love the aggressiveness in a 3-1 count. You have to let Anthony Santander potentially get that fastball down the middle and drive something. Obviously, Santander didn't get it in that 3-1 count, but I don't like stealing third in a 3-1 count and a power hitter up.
Santander now on first, 2 down. The pitch to George Springer is lined to right field. Abreu starts in, stops, comes in again, makes the catch, and ends the inning. No runs on a hit for the Blue Jays. No errors. 2 left. 2-0 Boston after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
SiriusXM Patriot, Channel 125, marks President Trump's first 100 days of his second term. Hear from lawmakers, journalists, and historians, plus your calls as we reflect back. Go inside the opening chapter of the second term with the exclusive Patriot special from inauguration to now, highlighting the key accomplishments, top priorities, and the bold vision for the road ahead. Trump's first 100 days, all day tomorrow on SiriusXM Patriot, Channel 125, and on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Let the games begin.
On Sirius XM, you get all the sports play-by-play you want and all the live sports talk you need. It's always a home game when you listen to the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB on the Sirius XM app.
How good is that?
We fuel your fandom with NASCAR, the biggest college games, PGA, and soccer. And when news breaks, hear instant reaction.
We got a big developing story out of Cincinnati.
The Sirius XM app. Everything a sports fan needs, all in one place.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
And Radio Network.
It's the second inning, presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19-plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. In downtown Toronto, the Blue Jays and the Red Sox enter the second inning with Boston leading 2-0. Pitch from Bowden Francis is a breaking ball low to Christian Campbell. Ball one. Right-handed hitting Campbell leads off with Tristan Casas and Cedar Rafaela also due to hit this inning. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike after Campbell whiffed over the splitter.
It's a big swing right there. Christian Campbell does have 3 homers on the season, though. A little bit of juice in that bat.
The 1-1. Up and in. 2 balls, 1 strike. What an impressive rookie he's been. .305 average, .886 OPS, 7 doubles, 3 homers. Swiped a couple of bags as well. He walks a little bit. And he's not even the highest rated prospect in the Boston system. 2-1. Hit well right field. Santander sprinting back at the warning track, curling near the wall, leaps, and that one bounces out of here. Off the top of the wall and gone. It's another solo shot for the Red Sox. Their third already. 3-0 Boston in the second.
Well, I didn't think that ball was actually going to get out of here. Christian Campbell did a good job taking that thing the other way. Santander looked like he had a beat on it and then just ran out of room over there in right field. Jumped at the last second trying to catch that baseball, but it just got out of here, maybe by a couple of inches.
If I'm not mistaken, that hit the top of the wall and bounced out, or it hit something on the wall and bounced back into the field of play. Yeah, it hit the top, the powder blue top of that darker blue wall and bounced into the railing right near the bullpen, which is a home run.
Yeah, so as soon as it touches that metal railing that's above the powder blue line, it's a home run.
It's gone.
But if it hits that powder blue line and bounces back,
yes,
that's not a home run.
First pitch to Tristan Casas was a ball. Now the 1-0. Left-handed hitter takes it just outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
But that's a ton of power for Christian Campbell going the other way. Not a bad fastball from Bowden Francis. And keep in mind, Christian Campbell is not a big guy.
2-0. Called strike, 2-1. Well, that's his 4th home run of the season, which would lead the team he's playing against. And like you said, he's not a huge guy. He's a rookie. And he's a second baseman. You don't expect a lot of power from all 3 of those descriptors. Now Casas swings and lines the 2-1 into center. And that's the first base hit of the day for the Red Sox that hasn't left the ballpark. It's a single with nobody out.
Well, Tristan Casas was all over that fastball. He hammered that thing right back up the middle. It wasn't a home run, but he squared that thing up.
That's going to prompt Kirk to go out and talk to Bowden Francis. Like you said before the game, we've seen almost all really good outings from Francis since this run started. We've seen 1 or 2 blips. I don't think we've seen anything like this so far. This is an odd one where he's allowed 3 home runs to the first 6 batters he's faced.
Yeah, and obviously sometimes there will be speed bumps like this, but I guess we've been so accustomed to Bowden Francis going out there and going 6 innings, 1 run that this is weird for us.
First pitch to Cedar Rafaela inside, ball 1.
But like I said, that split finger is his bread and butter, and when it's just floating up there, that takes away from all his other pitches because you can kind of just sit on that split finger.
1-0 pitch inside, 2 balls, no strikes. 3-0 for Boston. Runner on first base, Casas. Nobody out, top of the second. Right on right, the 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. starting to mix in that slider a little bit more. Maybe a bit of a reaction to the lack of success he's having on the splitter. Pre-splitter, he was a fastball, curveball, slider guy. Righty kicks and offers and misses up top with a heater, 3-1.
You can tell he's just fighting something out there. Doesn't quite have the release point or the command of any of his pitches. He's thrown some good fastballs. But this Red Sox lineup is really good, and they hit fastballs well.
The 3-1. Fouled away, 3-2.
Even that fastball there, they were trying to come inside to Cedar Rafaela, and he missed his spot and threw it away. It wasn't a bad pitch. It just wasn't even remotely near where he was trying to throw it.
He really does live off pinpoint commands.
Right.
His 3-2. Hit foul, a pop-up right side that's going to go over the first base dugout and drop into the 10th row of seats. Nice catch on the fly, man, in a black hoodie. Came up with the underhanded barehand catch. But it won't count as an out for the Blue Jays. Still nobody out in the top of the second.
A couple of loony dogs in his right hand, caught it with his left.
It's good multitasking. Full count, no outs, runner on first, the pitch. Rafaela lifts this one, and it should be playable. It's in shallow left. Bo Bichette waves his right arm in the air, but he's called off by Miles Straw, who comes in to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
And that's what's supposed to happen on a tough pop-up, kind of to that no man's land. You can see Bo Bichette veering out to the outfield, and then Miles Straw came sprinting in and waved off Bo Bichette. That's how it's supposed to be done. The outfielder should always call for that ball if he can make the play.
So one out, runner on first, and the number 9 hitter catcher Carlos Narvaez is up. The pitch. Called strike. Narvaez hitting .214 on the year, 2 homers, although his numbers have been a little bit better ever since he took over the full-time catching duties. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. You may recall when the Blue Jays took on the Red Sox at Fenway Park, Connor Wong took a bounced ball off of the hand. Or pardon me, he took a catcher's interference off the hand on a George Springer swing. He's been on the injured list ever since with a broken pinky. 0-2. Narvaez scorches one foul, lined it just wide of the third base bag.
Bowden Francis got away with one there. It's an 0-2 count, so you're supposed to bury that breaking ball, or you're supposed to throw whatever pitch you're throwing outside of the strike zone. And he just hung that breaking ball right down the middle. Luckily, Narvaez was out in front of it.
Funny enough, 2 of the 3 homers came in 0-2 counts today. 0-2 again. Hit foul to the right. That's another pitch. That's middle in.
That's a pitch that I'm sure Carlos Narvaez wants back. You could see him kind of shaking his head, probably not happy with that result, but it was a fastball on the inside part of the plate, middle third. Very hittable pitch, especially in an 0-2 count.
Francis steps off. Narvaez had asked for time, so Mike Estabrook, the home plate ump, holding the palm up of his right hand. Stopping play now. He'll step back behind Alejandro Kirk. Francis set. Narvaez ready to go. 0-2. Hit foul to the left. One hop and into the Blue Jays dugout, third base side. Carlos Narvaez, a 26-year-old Venezuelan bearded catcher, 6 foot tall, 190 pounds. Awaits another 0-2. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That might have been his best split finger of the day. It wasn't in the strike zone, but it had a lot of movement on it. He got on top of it. When guys are struggling to get on top of their off-speed pitches, it's almost like you should try to bounce it, just to force that release point, that extension. I bet he starts to throw better split fingers from here on out.
His 1-2. Fastball fouled away. .47 pitches already for Bowden Francis. Gave up 2 solo homers in the first. He's given up another one here in the second and a single. So Tristan Casas is on first. 3-0 Red Sox. 1 out in the top of the second. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Elevated fastball on the inner half, and Narvaez is down for the first Francis strikeout today.
That's a good pitch right there. Up around the hands. Impossible to hit if you locate it, and Bowden Francis does a good job just locating that pitch there. The Blue Jays don't have an off day until May 5th, so obviously John Schneider doesn't want to use that bullpen on day one of this homestand. So Bowden Francis might want to think about getting deep into this ball game.
Pitch to Jarren Duran with 2 outs is low ball 1. Still cautious on first, and still 3-0 Red Sox, top of the second. John Schneider did reveal to us before the game today that the plan is some sort of bullpen day coming up tomorrow for the Blue Jays. So you really don't want to get into your bullpen early if you can avoid it. Blue Jays did make a move. Casey Lawrence brought up to the team after being claimed off waivers. 1-0. Check swing by Durant. Pitch was low. Appeal to third. A nod and a strike sign from Brian O'Nora, the third base up. So that's a strike. It's 1-1.
Bowden Francis just threw his 50th pitch of the ball game. We have 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
Right on left, his 1-1 pitch to Durant. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And Jarren Duran hit that home run on a fastball up out of the strike zone. So if you're going to throw that pitch again, might want to think about getting it just a little bit higher.
Was only the second home run of the season for Duran, who hit his first on April 15th. The 2-1. Swing and a fly ball left center field, not very deep. Dalton Varsho's first play back. He camps under it, makes the catch, and that will do it for the top of the second. Francis settles down after the leadoff home run to Christian Campbell, but it is 3-0 Red Sox, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Every Friday home game is a City Connect Friday. On Friday, May 2nd, the first 15,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a City Connect Crisp basketball replica jersey. City Connect Fridays. Night mode. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at ArmstrongBirdFood.com.
Every Friday home game is a City Connect Friday. On Friday, May 2nd, the first 15,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a City Connect Crisp basketball replica jersey. City Connect Fridays. Night mode. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Hi, this is Tyler Heineman, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Christian Campbell with a solo homer in the top of the second, and as we go to the bottom half, 3-0, the Red Sox lead the Blue Jays. First pitch from Garrett Crochet misses outside to Alejandro Kirk. Ball 1 to start the frame. 6'6" lefty. Crochet deals to the right-handed hitter. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors. 2-0. Called strike, 2-1.
Kirk didn't like that call at all. Quickly looking away. You don't really see that type of reaction from him very often.
Looked to be a hair off the plate inside, but nothing crazy. 2-1. Fouled off to the right. Bottom middle fastball. It's 2-2.
I think it's just because of the pitcher that's on the mound. If you're an umpire, if you're a guy in that batter's box, you're probably saying, hey, don't help him out. He doesn't need any help out there.
He's given up more than 2 earned runs only once in a start so far this year. It's 2-2. Check swing liner foul to the right.
That is a tough pitch. 97 up around the hands. You could see how uncomfortable Kirk was fouling that ball off. A little half swing.
Lefty winds in the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 98 elevated, 1 down.
Here it is, see it. Or here it is, good luck. Just powered that fastball right by him at 98 miles an hour.
Big applause as with 1 out, Dalton Varsho comes up to the plate to hit for the first time this season with the Blue Jays, coming off that shoulder surgery. Varsho had been hitting in spring. He swings at the first pitch he sees here and rips it back foul, 0-1. Hadn't been in the field, was working up towards that near the end of spring, got into games in extended spring training and then some rehab outings, and now back with the big club. Left on left, 0-1. Swing and a foul off again, 0-2.
That was actually a pretty good swing on a tough pitch. A sweeper right down the middle. When you're expecting 98, 97, 98 miles an hour and you right on that sweeper, that's a good sign.
1 out, bases empty, 0-2 count. 3-0 Boston. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gave him back-to-back sweepers, and there are 2 down.
Like I said before the ball game, that's a tough ask for any left-handed hitter to come up, especially in your first game back, but for any left-handed hitter really against Garrett Crochet.
Right-handed hitting, Ernie Clement up. 2 outs, bases empty, the pitch. Fouled off the glove of Narvaez, 0-1. The countdown is on, Blue Jays fans. The amazing April 50-50 jackpot is over $825,000 and closing in on that $1 million mark. Don't miss your chance to be crowned Jays Care's 10th ever millionaire. Get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 Ontario or Nova Scotia. 0-1 pitch. Lined back up the middle and caught chest high by the second baseman Campbell to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Garrett Crochet. 3-0 Boston after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and they're only on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
The stage is set.
Round 1, new rivalries emerge.
Not going to take long to heat up here.
And old ones intensify.
You got to love playoff hockey, don't you?
16 teams, 1 champion. Will this be the year Stanley comes back to Canada?
Strap yourselves in for the best ride in sports. You can feel the intensity.
Watch every game only on Sportsnet.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here for the Cup.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, or ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 3rd inning, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Bracebridge and Huntsville. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. 3-0 Red Sox over the Blue Jays, top of the 3rd, and Bowden Francis ahead of Rafael Devers 0-1 after a swing and a miss from the left-handed hitting DH. Wide open stance for Devers, left side, 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. In terms of east to west, Devers' batting stance really covers the whole batter's box. His back left foot close to the plate, his right foot super far away as he takes the 1-1 down and away, 2-1.
A lot like pitching. I'm sure when he was growing up, when he was hitting like that, nobody taught him to do that. He was just a good hitter, so nobody messed with him.
Right. 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
It's kind of like Garrett Crochet. I'm sure nobody taught him to throw like he throws. He just threw 100 miles an hour, and he was able to locate. So we're not touching him. We're not messing with him.
2-2 from Francis. Low, ball 3. Be really nice for Bowden to get off to a smooth start to this inning. It's given up solo home runs to lead off the first and the second. His 3-2. Swing and a deep drive, right field, and that's another solo home run for the Red Sox. A bomb, to say the least, from Rafael Devers into the second deck in right field, and it's 4-0 Boston.
Well, Rafael Devers knew he got it off the bat, held that finish, stood in the batter's box for 2 or 3 seconds, and it was just another hanging splitter, 111 miles an hour off the bat, 422 feet to right field. What a swing. Just a floater right down the middle, almost on the inner third, and Rafael Devers was sitting on it.
That's his happy zone, as he showed us with the quality of contact. Now the first pitch to Bregman, hit on the ground through the left side of the infield, a base hit. And it's a single for the Red Sox. Well, Boston's bats have been firing on all cylinders recently. You go back to their last 2 games against Cleveland, 20 runs on 26 hits over those 2 games. And they have carried some of that momentum here across the border into Rogers Center.
Yeah, this is a tough lineup to face. And I mean, essentially, this is a lineup without Rafael Devers for most of the season.
Pitch to Trevor Story, hit on the ground, dive by Clement, and it's under him into left field. Back-to-back singles for Boston, 3 hits in the inning. Four solo home runs for the Red Sox, 7 hits overall. They're up 4-0, top of the third, with runners on first and second. The Blue Jays bullpen starting to get going, something they really did not want to do in the third inning of this game. Third inning of any game, for that matter. Pitch now to Wilyer Abreu. High, ball 1. But if you weren't with us earlier, so much more important to not get into their own bullpen early in this game because of the fact that they have a bullpen day scheduled tomorrow. 1-0 to Abreu. Outside, 2-0. Although they had the off day yesterday, this is also coming off a doubleheader where they had to get into their bullpen in the third inning in one of those 2 games. 2-0 pitch is driven center field. Varsho sprinting back, stopping at the wall. It's gone. 3-run homer, Wilyer Abreu. And the Red Sox looking more like the Patriots right now. It's 7-0 for Boston.
They are just hitting everything right now. That was a breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone. I actually didn't think that Abreu got it. He gets his 6th home run of the season. He's a guy that's kind of under the radar. I really like him as a player.
5th Boston home run in this game. Like you said, Abreu probably not getting a lot of the attention other guys on Boston aren't. He's been as good as anyone really on this roster. Pitch now to Christian Campbell inside, ball 1.
And he hammered that baseball. That was a hanging breaking ball, kind of on the outside part of the plate, almost on the black. And he got those arms extended and drilled it into right center.
1-0. Called strike 1-1. Very different landing spot, but he hit it as deep as Devers hit his. Both of those home runs measuring out at 422 feet. 1-1. Check swing, pitch inside, appeal to first. He did go 1-2. So 7-0 Boston. Still nobody out in the top of the third inning. It's gone homer, single, single, homer this frame. The 1-2. Bounce to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And it's actually interesting that we were talking about the velocity early on of Bowden Francis. It's dipped a little bit since, but I mean, this kind of proves that when you have the velocity that you don't normally have early on in a ball game, you kind of lose the command. You lose the pitchability, and you start to throw as opposed to pitch. And I think that's what happened here today.
2-2 is lined and caught on the run by Andres Jimenez. Quick first step to the left for Jimenez to make the play. 1 out.
Another hard hit ball by this Boston Red Sox lineup. Christian Campbell ripped that ball to second base, but Andres Jimenez with a nice play ranging to his left.
Well, it might not seem it, but this is a pretty big inning here for Francis, even though the 7 runs are allowed. If you're thinking about that bullpen or not, if he can keep the pitch count manageable, stay in this game longer, it could be a big boost to the rest of the series. First pitch to Tristan Casas, called a strike, 0-1.
I think at this point, if you're John Schneider, you're just hoping that Bowden Francis quickly gets through this inning, gets quick 2 outs here, and gets the team back to the dugout.
0-1 pitch is hit in the air center field. Varsho running in toward left center, makes a one-handed catch. 2 down.
And then I would imagine that he hopes that Bowden Francis can get through 5 innings. I think that's a win, especially in a 7-0 ball game. That's a win if Bowden Francis can save that bullpen, keep Dylan Tate from coming in this ball game this early, and get through 5 innings.
So 2 outs and the base is empty. 7-0 Boston, top of the third. The pitch to Cedon Rafaela, cut on and missed. Strike 1. Right-handed hitting center fielder Rafaela, batting in the 230s. 0-1 pitch. Hit on the ground sharply to third. Down to a knee. It's backhanded by Clemente. Pops up and throws to first to end the inning. 4 runs for the Red Sox on 4 hits. Solo shot from Rafael Devers and a 3-run homer by Wilyer Abreu. Boston up a touchdown, 7-0, middle of 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, do you ever wonder how life might look if you'd saved a little more? Well, April is Financial Literacy Month, and Planned to AT is here to help. We're a nonprofit helping young people improve their futures through financial wellness education. Our fun, simple workshops help students build healthy money habits and get them ready for the workforce. Text PTAT to 26989 to learn how you and your company can get involved. That's PTAT to 26989.
VSiN, the sports betting network, is back on SiriusXM. Go to channel 158 for informed wagering and fantasy advice from familiar voices like Gil Alexander, Paulie Howard, and Mitch Moss. Plus, SiriusXM mainstays Adam Shine, Rich Gannon, and the guru, John Hansen. We're getting you ready for the upcoming games with a finger on the pulse of the latest news and the moving lines and odds. VSiN, the sports betting network, is now on SiriusXM 158 and on the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
And Radio Network.
7-0 Red Sox, bottom of the third inning at Rogers Center. First time to the plate, Andres Jimenez faces Garrett Crochet in the pitch outside and low. Ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Home plate is home plans. Score the run with Timbermart.ca. 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Find a major league selection of winning plays for house, garage, and backyard sheds. Visit Timbermart.ca and win the game with Canada's Building Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The 1-1. Hit foul, 1-2. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, Austin Mackey, our technical directors. If you're looking for the Maple Leafs broadcast, by the way, and you happen to tune in to us, you can see that one on 680. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Painted on the outside corner. A four-seamer at 96 from Crochet. He's punched out 3 of the last 4 he's faced.
In case you were wondering, Ben, and I know you weren't, but coming into this ball game, lefties were hitting .059 against Garrett Crochet. Smaller sample size, just 18 at-bats, but I mean, that tells you that opposing managers don't want to put lefties in a lineup against Garrett Crochet.
First pitch inside to Miles Straw, right-handed hitter. 1-0. When you think about guys don't want their lefties facing Crochet, 1-0 pitch. Called strike 1-1. And so managers are only leaving probably their most essential players that hit left-handed. Probably a lot of the better left-handed hitters in baseball. 1-1. Fouled off to the right, 1-2.
Like a Rafael Devers if he wasn't on the Red Sox.
Like maybe your Ben Rice's stay in the lineup for the Yankees, or your Brandon Lowe's for the Rays. And that's the caliber of guy he's holding to a sub-100 average. 1-2, cut on and miss, strike 3. He can do it to the righties too. Just got Straw out in front on a sweeper, and there are 2 down.
And it's not really just the fastball. Of course, his fastball is explosive, 96 to 99 miles an hour. It's just the funk. That leg lift is so weird. The arm angle, it's almost impossible to pick up whether you're lefty, whether you're a righty. That's why he's been so good this season.
Pitch to Bo Bichette. 95 at the knees, strike 1. The mix of fastballs can't be comfortable as well. Sometimes it's a straight four-seamer with some jump on it. A 1. Swing and a miss. Nothing at 2. Sometimes it's that sinker that fades down and away from a right-handed hitter. Sometimes it's the cutter that'll jump in and break your bat.
He just mixed in that changeup, too, that he only throws 6% of the time.
Now Bichette stays on a 97-mile-per-hour heater, fouls it off to keep the count 0-2.
And that changeup was 87, so that's about a 10-mile-an-hour difference. I mean, good luck. If he locates that changeup, good luck.
Base is empty, 2 outs, 7-0 Boston, bottom of the 3rd. The 2-strike pitch. Hit down the right field line, a base hit, rolling toward the corner. Cut off down the line by Abreu. Bichette trying for second, and he slides in. I think Abreu had a little bit of trouble up against the sidewall in right field because that didn't initially look like an extra base hit, but it will be for Bichette. It's his 9th double of the year.
Well, Garrett Crochet missed his spot. They were trying to come in off the plate, left it kind of inner third, and Bo Bichette in that 0-2 count protecting and just rips it the other way down the line. What a nice swing from Bo Bichette. A couple of nice swings off Garrett Crochet tonight already.
He's got both of the Blue Jay hits. Now the pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Downstairs, ball 1. Red Sox 7, Blue Jays nothing. 2 outs, runner on second, bottom of the 3rd. The 1-0. Swing and a deep drive, center field. Rafaela back at the warning track, at the wall, and that ball is gone. Just over the fence and into the batter's eye, a 2-run homer for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jays get on the board. It's 7-2.
Well, that's got to feel good if you're Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It was an elevated fastball, and he was all over it, ripping that thing just over the wall in center field. This game's not over yet.
And for Vlad, it's his 3rd homer of the season and his 2nd in the last 4 games. So maybe starting to see the power come out for Guerrero, who will don the jacket back into the Blue Jay dugout. Garrett Crochet to Anthony Santander, and the first pitch hit on the ground to short. Bobbled by Story, but the throw on to first just in time to get Santander and end the inning. Blue Jays on the scoreboard. 2-out double by Bichette, cashed in by the 2-run homer from Guerrero. And it's 7-2 Boston after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power.
Start your engine.
And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on Sirius XM.
Battle the start-finish line. Alexander Rossi goes to P1.
Hear every thrilling moment of the 2025 IndyCar season, including the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500.
The green flag flies. They reach the yard of bricks.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern with the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218 and the Sirius XM app.
From dramatic walk-offs
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
to jaw-dropping web gems,
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
college softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the Sirius XM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on Sirius XM.
At Radio Network.
It's the fourth inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 7-2, the Red Sox lead the Blue Jays. Fourth inning about to start. It's a new pitcher for Toronto. Right-hander Dylan Tate on the hill. Tate winds and offers to Carlos Narvaez. First pitch hit foul, 0-1.
Well, I guess I was wrong about Bowden Francis potentially going 5 innings.
Francis did really struggle. You thought maybe they just leave him out there to eat up some innings anyway. Perhaps the home run by Guerrero in the bottom of the third changed a little thinking as the Blue Jays got on the board, but it still is a 5-run lead for Boston.
Yeah, and like we've talked about it, there's a bullpen day tomorrow, 6 straight ball games without an off day. You'd think that John Schneider, Pete Walker want to save that bullpen just a little bit. Obviously, they're thinking a little bit differently than we are.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Well, this pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Tate drafted as a starter, 0-2, is bounced 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's a 4th overall pick at one point by the Texas Rangers, but he has exclusively been a reliever in his career and hasn't really been a long reliever, typically a 1, maybe 1+ kind of guy. Righties 1-2. Little bouncer past the mound left side. Charging in, barehanded by Bichette. The shortstop throws on to first to finish a heck of a play. 1 out.
Well, I think Bo Bichette for a split second forgot who was running because Carlos Narvaez, to me at least, he looked pretty slow. Bo Bichette chose to barehand that baseball, and then he looked up, realized he had more time, and was able to make the nice throw across the diamond, but still a nice play from Bo Bichette.
Carlos Narvaez with 18th percentile sprint speed, so bottom 5th of the league in terms of his ability or his quickness in running. First pitch to Jarren Duran, high and outside, ball 1.
Ben, I was just going on the eye test. I was watching him run down the line.
I know. I was trying to back you up. You seemed like you didn't want to go too hard on him. So 1-0. Swing and a deep drive center field. Going back, Varsho slips on the warning track and makes the catch! Good Lord, Dalton Varsho somersaulted onto the track, turned around, and backhanded it to take extra bases away from Jarren Duran.
I have never seen that before in my entire life. How do you even describe that catch? Holy cow.
Dalton Varsho tripped on his feet, rolled over on the warning track, had to look behind him over his left shoulder to make the play. You may watch baseball for the next 50 years and never see that again.
Wow.
Fans were on their feet. There's a buzz here in Toronto with the Blue Jays down 7-2. First pitch to Rafael Devers. Misses low, ball one.
We're about to see another slow motion replay on that Sportsnet broadcast. Holy cow.
1-0 to Devers, high and outside 2-0. Well, it's not usually those plays that get you a Gold Glove, but it works out pretty well for Dalton Varsho either way. 2-0 pitch. Up and in, ball 3. 7-2 Red Sox. 2 outs and the bases empty after the unintentional circus catch from Dalton Varsho. 3-0. Outside, ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk issued to Devers. Are you still speechless?
Well, I'm watching the replay right now. I don't even know what to say. But you know who really went on that roller coaster? Dylan Tate.
Sure, yeah. And Jarren Duran.
Oh, man.
Pitch to Alex Bregman, called a strike, 0-1. I think if you're Jarren Duran, you hit that ball deep fly out. That's what it looked like early on, like Varsho was slowing down toward the track, and then you see him slip. If you're Duran, I mean, you're a potential inside the park homer guy. 0-1. Called strike 0-2.
Boy, Jarren Duran is one of the few guys in the big leagues. If he hits a fly ball like that and a guy is camped underneath it, he's still running hard.
Right.
So he's running hard around first base. Dalton Varsho falls, and then he really picks up speed. And like you said, potentially an inside the park home run for a guy like that.
0-2 pitch. Check swing by Bregman. Bent the knee, started the hands, but didn't fire him. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes as that pitch misses low.
If Rafael Devers hit that fly ball, he would have been halfway between home and first.
Right.
Not a big deal.
Runner on first is Devers. 2 outs. And the 1-2 pitch. Foul tip, strike 3. Nice inning from Dylan Tate. An unbelievable play in the truest sense from Dalton Varsho, and at the middle of the 4th, it's still 7-2 for the Red Sox. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Of all the things that Timber Mart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the Timber Mart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as Timber Mart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bases loaded. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Tom Young and Austin Mackey are technical directors today. Show Ali, our host and producer, and alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. 7-2, the Blue Jays trailing the Red Sox. Bottom of the 4th. Pitch to George Springer is called a strike, 0-1. Springer, Alejandro Kirk, and Dalton Varsho, 4, 5, 6 in the Blue Jays order, hitting this inning. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Got a weird stat for you, Chris. Something that would surprise you. 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
All right, let's hear it.
How many home runs do you think Garrett Crochet, without looking at your notes, has given up this year? You have a second because he's into the wine, or he's about to be.
I'm going to guess 5.
Here's his 1-2. Swing and a miss. Springer goes down, strike 3.
Actually, hold on. I take that back because you said it was a weird stat. So it's either a lot or none. Or 1 now, I guess.
So he's given up 2.
2, all right.
Both to the Toronto Blue Jays. For as much as the Blue Jays have struggled to hit homers. Vlad hit one last inning. I bring it up because Springer, who just struck out, hit one on April 8th. The only 2 he's allowed. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk is skied down the right field line. That one fading out of play into the stands foul. 0-1. Blue Jays second to last in home runs in Major League Baseball, yet for some reason they've clipped this guy twice.
Well, maybe Garrett Crochet will get them hot.
Sure. 0-1 pitch. Foul tip 0-2.
His stuff is just so different than any other pitcher's. Yeah. He's just so smooth with his delivery, and that thing just explodes out of his hand. He's so tough to hit.
Lefty kicks and offers. Kirk hits it on the ground, foul.
Was it you that said he kind of has a Bronson Arroyo leg lift?
Probably me.
Not that weird. It's not that weird.
No, it's not that weird. But he kicks way up, and he's 6'6". Super long legs, and his toe seems to reach like chin level as he brings his right leg up. Next pitch, broken bat roller to third base. Gold Glover Bregman comes in. Crow hops and throws over to first to get Kirk for the second out.
I want to meet the guy who taught Bronson Arroyo how to pitch and who taught Garrett Crochet how to pitch. Because I don't know I don't know anybody. You say probably their dads.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because I don't know anybody that would teach that leg lift.
Especially being so tall. It's so hard to repeat your mechanics in general, but kudos to whoever taught him. Maybe it was himself. It's worked out pretty well. His pitch to Dalton Varsho. Downstairs, ball 1. Trying to sneak in the out-of-town scoreboard here. Brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome. Next pitch to Varsho. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Just a little bit down the road from here, Maple Leafs hosting the Senators in Game 5 of that series. Leafs up 3-1 in the series. No score in the second in that one. 1-1 pitch to Varsho is outside. 2-1. It's 16 minutes to go in the second period at Scotiabank Arena, and the Leafs out shooting the Senators early on. Crochet's 2-1. Varsho rips the ball down the right field line, but it's just foul. 2-2.
Like I said, Ben, all I'm praying is this game ends before that game.
For travel purposes.
Yeah. Yes. For the obvious travel purposes.
It's a fun night in the city, though. A lot going on. 2-2. Fastball outside. It was borderline. Narvaez had packaged that one up and was shipping it off to the dugout. He was ready to go.
Took about 2 steps towards that dugout, too, and home plate umpire Mike Estabrook was shaking his head. That was a great pitch. Just clipped the black on the outside.
Now the 3-2. Bounce to the right side. Foul. Well, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Senators have taken the lead on a deflected shot from the point. It's 1-0 Ottawa a couple minutes into the second period. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 7-2 for the Red Sox. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. The pitch. Down and away, ball 4. Frustration from Crochet. And for Dalton Varsho, he reaches for the first time of this Major League season.
Well, that's a really good at-bat for Dalton Varsho. Seeing the baseball that well, to take that tough fastball off the plate outside. Again, Garrett Crochet is very difficult against lefties, and Dalton Varsho was able to work the walk. A good at-bat for him.
So 2 outs, Ernie Clement to the plate, Crochet from the stretch. Swing and a fly ball, medium depth right field. Shuffling to his right, still angling. Abreu makes the catch and ends the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Blue Jays. 7-2 Red Sox after 4 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's been an American tradition for more than 150 years.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
And you can hear the Run for the Roses on Sirius XM.
Coming down to the wire.
Cheers, Insiders! Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays matchup against the Boston Red Sox. Go Jays, go! It's going to be a great game, and we are so thankful that you chose to hang out here on Toronto Sports Insider.
Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app. From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
It's the fifth inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Dylan Tate winds and offers to Trevor Story. First pitch heater inside, ball one. I'm Ben Schulman, alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Right-hander Tate twists back and offers. Story takes it outside, 2-0. 7-2 Red Sox. Mentioned last time he was up, it's been a big boost for Boston to have Trevor Story healthy, playing in his 30th game of the year. It's 1 for 2 today, 2-0. Called strike. However, he is in a little bit of a slump at this point. Started the year really hot. He's 1 for 25 coming into today in his last 6. Does have the hit today. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball inside, ball 3. But I think if you're Alex Cora, if you're Craig Breslow, if you're John Henry, you're taking a slump of Story over no Story at all. 3-1. Hit well right field. Santander racing towards the corner. Still going back. And he made the catch just in fair territory. A little bit out of our view in the obstructed corner. 1 out.
Well, that wall over there in foul territory is about 3 or 4 feet from the foul line. And Anthony Santander had to deal with that. I think that ball was going to land fair if he doesn't catch that baseball.
That's what the first base umpire Derek Thomas indicated, and I think on replay it definitely would have been fair.
That is a great play, especially dealing with that wall over there.
1 out in the pitch to the fellow right fielder, Wilyer Abreu, called a strike.
Do you actually think John Henry's happy that Trevor Story is played?
I mean, I think he's happier than not, you know. He's got a
I love that you threw him in there.
He's a Liverpool title winner right now.
He's got a lot to worry about. He's got a lot to worry about.
0-1. Hit foul 0-2. That's $200 million of his bucks, though, going somewhere, or some of it's his bucks. Abreu with the 3-run shot in the 3rd inning that really spelled the end of the day for Bowden Francis. 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Left-handed hitter batting with 1 out and the bases empty. 7-2 Boston, top of the 5th. Tate brings the glove up, steps to the left, kicks, and deals. Just outside, ball 2.
Abreu having a good season, 278, 6 homers, 21 RBIs. And to go along with those good stats, he's stolen 4 bases.
The 2-2. Swinging a towering fly ball foul right side. That one will go into the seats way back there towards the concourse in the right field corner. It is interesting. Abreu came into the season with some trade rumors swirling around him because the Red Sox have a lot of outfielders. 2-2. Hit foul again. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Talk about Duran, Rafaela. With Devers DHing, Yoshida might be a little bit of an outfielder for them. Rob Refsnyder plays a lot of the outfield. He's a platoon bat for them against left-handed pitching. And then you got prospects like a Roman Anthony, maybe the top prospect in all of baseball, who also play the outfield. And so Abreu might have been the odd man out until he started doing all this. 2-2. Hit on the ground, foul.
Yeah, well, he's currently not the odd man out.
No, now you haven't heard anything
Not
about the trade
anymore,
rumors
yeah.
in weeks.
He's a really solid player. I still like Jarren Duran the most on this roster, but Wilyer Abreu, one of the most underrated players on this roster for sure.
It's interesting. He kind of shifted. He hot potatoed the rumors over to Rafaela a bit. 2-2 pitch hit foul, still 2-2.
But Cedon Rafaela is not bad either.
No, and he's fantastic defensively. He's the best center fielder they have, for sure. Yoshida, in fairness, has also been subject to rumors. He's just been hurt. 2-2. Down and away, ball 3. Heck of a battle being put up here by Wilyer Abreu, who's worked this count full. Here comes Dylan Tate's 10th pitch to Wilyer Abreu. Ball 4. He was in a 2-strike count after 2 pitches. Fouled off 4 straight at one point. Took 4 balls to get to first.
Yeah, that was a really nice at-bat from Abreu. Took a couple of big hacks, fouled off some pitches, and then just ends up at first base. If you're Dylan Tate, you're pretty frustrated out there right now.
Blue Jays have Mason Fluharty loosening up, but for now, Tate remains in to face Christian Campbell. The pitch. Check swing, pitch outside. Appeal down to first, he didn't go. Ball 1. It's 7-2 for the Red Sox. 1 out, runner on first, top of the 5th. Let's go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. First, Tate in the set, glove at his belt. From the stretch, he looks in and offers home. Inside. Wild game going on in Baltimore between the Yankees and the Orioles to look at on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. It's the first place Yankees, the last place Orioles in the division, although Baltimore won the opener in that series yesterday. 2-0. Fastball outside, ball 3. Well, it's playing out more like the standings would suggest today. The Yankees with 4 solo homers in the first 5 batters against Kyle Gibson in his season debut, his re-debut with the Orioles. 3-0. Inside ball 4. That's back-to-back walks. Tate issues another free pass to put 2 on with 1 out. That's going to bring John Schneider out. But just to mention, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Yankees now up 12-0. And Carlos Rodon has thrown 5 perfect innings in the start for New York as well. For the Blue Jays, it's going to be a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 7-2 Red Sox, 2 on, 1 out, top of the 5th. And as Mason Fluharty jogs in, let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, Ben. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. And, of course, we will start with the Stanley Cup playoffs as the first round begins to wrap up around the league. So last night, we had 2 games that both resulted in the winner picking up their 3rd win of their respective series. First, a 4-2 Panthers win over the Bolts, Florida taking a 3-1 series lead. The Stars thumping the Avalanche 6-2 in Dallas. They are now up 3-2 in that series. Florida can close out their series tomorrow in Tampa. That's Wednesday. And the Stars can close things out in Denver on Thursday. Tonight, we do have 4 games on the calendar, including the Leafs taking on the Sens in Game 5. Leafs entering play tonight with a 3-1 series lead. This game in Toronto, just down the street from the Dome at Scotiabank Arena. Right now, it is 1-0 Ottawa with about 11 minutes left in the second period. You can watch the game on Sportsnet and the CBC. You can listen to it on City News 680 in Toronto via your radio. Online, you can listen to it on sportsnet.ca/590 via the mainstream. Joe Bone and Jim Ralph will have the call. Blue Jays baseball is, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call.
Thank you very much, Joe. Mason Fluharty is loosening up right now for the Blue Jays. It's 7-2 for the Boston Red Sox, the visiting team in the opener of this series. Boston has runners on first and second with one out in the top of the fifth. For Fluharty, it's his 11th appearance of his major league career. In the first 10, he's got a 3.12 ERA, and surprisingly has been much tougher on righties than lefties. The southpaw has given up all of his hits so far to left-handed batters. Trying to change that, he goes left on left with Tristan Casas to start off this appearance. The pitch. Down and away, ball one. Fluharty is the third Blue Jays pitcher today after the 3-inning, 7-run start from Bowden Francis. Tate just bridged to the lefty. 1-0. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Bichette has it, steps on second one, throws to first for the double play. Bo Bichette taken out on the slide, though, by Campbell, and Campbell helping him off the dirt. But that will be an inning-ending double play, and hopefully Bichette no worse for wear. Nice job by Fluharty. 7-2 Boston, middle of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on SiriusXM Channel 89.
This is Terry Francona.
This is Rocco Baldelli.
This is Torey Lavello.
This is Ron Washington.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the SiriusXM app. Search MLB.
Liverpool are your 2025 Premier League champions, and no one covered their journey like SiriusXM FC.
This year, they've been absolutely untouchable.
This team was the epitome of a team.
From every big moment
Liverpool with a chance, left footed, it's in! The most dramatic end to this game!
to every major storyline.
Incredible, especially to win it in Anfield is so incredible.
No one brings you closer to the English Premier League than SiriusXM FC. Channel 157 in the car and streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
Yo Network.
Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Welcome back to Rogers Center. 7-2 for the visiting Red Sox. Bottom of the fifth inning. Left on left, the southpaw starter Crochet throws to Andres Jimenez and misses high. Ball one. Blue Jays with both of their runs in the third inning. It was a double from Bo and a homer from Guerrero. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Toronto overall with 3 hits, 2 from Bichette, 1 from Vlad. Also 2 walks, and Crochet has struck out 5. His 1-1. Hit foul off to the left, it's 1-2. Here's Crochet's 60th pitch of the start. Foul tip, strike 3. 4-seam fastball, inner third, and that tied up Jimenez.
In the top half of the fifth inning, to end that inning, there was a double play. Christian Campbell slid in hard to second base, and Bo Bichette kind of rolled over him and got up limping. And I thought it was his ankle at first, but it was his groin. His left leg kind of went flying.
First pitch to Miles Straw, hit foul, 0-1.
It looks like he's okay now. He's standing on deck, but That's a scary situation if you're the Blue Jays.
Yeah, you don't see a ton of that in today's game with the slide rules implemented in the 2010s, but Chet seems to be all right. A 1 pitch, fouled back by Straw, 0-2. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, by the way. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 7-2 for the Red Sox over the Blue Jays. 1 out, bases empty, bottom 5. Crochet shakes off a sign, flaps his glove, and now deals an 0-2. Swinging bunt, it's tapped to third. Charging in Bregman, throws on the run to first and gets his former teammate Miles Straw. 5-3. Force out there, and there are 2 down.
How about that play from Alex Bregman? Really tough. Miles Straw is fast, so he's sprinting down the line towards first base. Bregman makes that play pretty easily, gloves it, throws on the run, a perfect throw to first base to get him.
It was only a half swing from Straw, so the ball didn't get to Bregman that quickly. That's a big reason why he won the Gold Glove, his ability to move at third. And now the first pitch to Bo Bichette is inside, ball 1. Bo is 2 for 2, a single, a double, a stolen base, a run scored. 1-0 pitch is lined right field. Abreu started in, backing up, leaps and makes the catch. That last second adjustment, enough to make up for the misstep to start his route, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Crochet. 7-2 Red Sox after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. For a participating location, visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is the greatest talent show in the world.
Tuesdays on City TV.
This is my favorite act of all time.
Canada's Got Talent is stacked with mind-blowing acts.
Whoa. You are exceptional.
Competing for the $1 million grand prize. Thanks to Rogers.
We are looking at the future of a lot of Canadian stars.
All new Canada's Got Talent. Tuesdays 8, 7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Green kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. They defeat the Mariners.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Boston 7, Toronto 2. Top of the 6th inning at Rogers Center. Lefty Fluharty back on the hill for Toronto, and his pitch to Cedar Rafaela. High, ball 1. This 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 0 for 2 start for Rafaela. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a fly ball center field. Racing back Varsho toward left center. He makes the catch in front of the track. 1 out.
How about that? He makes it standing up.
It's been a very solid day out there in center for Dalton Varsho. Obviously, he had that super weird circus catch where he tripped over himself and almost no look backhanded a ball on the warning track. But outside of that play,
hey, that counts as an out.
It does count as an out. He's looked pretty good. 1 out, and the offering to Carlos Narvaez is lined left field, and that's a foul ball. Just snuck over the line into that thin strip of foul territory near the left field corner. 0-1.
Well, Narvaez was all over that sweeper. We kind of lost it down the line. We have a view of about the whole field until it gets to the very corner, and that ball went away. I wasn't sure if it was going to be fair or foul, but he hammered that baseball into the corner.
Right-handed hitter back in the box. Black bat for the Red Sox catcher. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Gassed it up with the cutter at 90 and put it by Narvaez. 0-2. Fluharty, first base side of the rubber, offers home. Misses well outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Red Sox have not scored since the 3rd. We're here in the top of the 6th. Still 7-2 Boston. 1-2. Poked foul over the screen and back into the deeper areas of the 100 level behind home plate. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him out in front of the sweeper. A nice pitch there from Fluharty for his first strikeout of this appearance.
Well, he threw 3 cutters in a row, 3 decent cutters. So I'm assuming that Narvaez was thinking something along the lines of a cutter again, and he just slowed it down with that sweeper, threw it right down the middle, and Narvaez was way out in front. It's a really nice pitch. I'm telling you, he's looked like a different guy over his last 4 outings.
His pitch to Jarren Duran, swing and a miss, strike 1. There was a bit of a mechanical change I'd heard made with Fluharty. He was maybe a little too on top of the baseball before getting back onto the side of it. But I can imagine probably some confidence as well as he remains in the big leagues here. 0-1. Just outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the important thing to remember going from AAA to the big leagues, it's not the stuff, it's the command and the location. So if you locate whatever pitch you throw, you'll still get guys out. You'll continue to have success, and I'm sure Fluharty just had to realize that and learn that.
The 1-1. Hit on the ground off the mound. Bichette fields deep up the middle. Sidearm sling to first in time to get Duran and end the inning. 1-2-3 for Mason Fluharty. The first 1-2-3 inning turned in by Blue Jays pitching today. 7-2 Red Sox, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Soak up spring love vibes with an all-new mix from The Flow.
Bring the beat in.
Now on the SiriusXM app. Featuring 2000s R&B hits from the heart by Ashanti, Usher, and Beyonce. Plus smooth 2010s grooves from Frank Ocean, Janelle Monáe, and more. It's the perfect soundtrack for flings, feels, and everything in between. Just search Spring Love in the SiriusXM app.
I'm Mike Farron. If you're like me, you love baseball. You love talking baseball with your friends, and your partner on the radio is the former general manager of the Mets.
This is Jim Duquette. Join me and Mike weekdays at 10 Eastern for Power Alley on MLB Network Radio.
It's baseball, baseball, and more baseball. 100% in-depth baseball talk.
We spent an entire week once on pulled pork recipes.
It's 95% in-depth baseball talk on Power Alley. Weekdays, 10 Eastern, MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Home half of the 6th inning. Blue Jays down 7-2 to the Red Sox. Scarecrow Shea pitches to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And the pitch is high, ball 1. Pardon me, inside. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. The 1-0. Called strike. Vladdy homering for the 3rd time this season in the 3rd inning. He now matches Andres Jimenez for the team lead. It's also RBIs 13 and 14 for Guerrero. 1-1. Inside, 2-1. With those RBIs, he has leapfrogged Bo Bichette and now has the team lead in runs batted in. 2-1. Hit deep down the right field line, fading into the seats, just under the second deck. It lands into the 100 level. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
In his last at-bat, he hit an elevated heater. They were actually trying to come up. He hit that pitch for a home run to center field, and they have yet to try to elevate a pitch yet.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball left center. Jaron Duran, left fielder, going back onto the warning track, and he makes the catch. Nearly collided with Cedon Rafaela. One of them didn't hear the other one, but the Red Sox make the play, 1 out.
Well, that ball kept going and going and going. I wasn't sure if it was going to have the legs to get out of here. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was way out in front of that sweeper, and I think Jaron Duran kind of just, it almost looked like he lost it for a second. He kind of was drifting back there to the wall in left center.
Red Sox get the out on the track, and now the pitch to Anthony Santander is high ball 1. Let's go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Late stages of the second period at Scotiabank Arena. Still 1-0 Senators over Maple Leafs. 1-0 to Santander. Outside 2-0.
Ben, are you starting to sweat just a little bit?
Don't do this. You're a Canadiens fan with no stake in this series. There's no good result for you. 2-0 pitch. Called strike 2-1. One out and the base is empty. Bottom of the 6th. Tall lefty Crochet kicks and offers. Swing and a miss. 97 blown by Santander, 2-2.
That's so impressive. It doesn't look like 97. It looks like it's about 92. And then you look up at the radar gun and you're like, wow, this guy throws really hard.
Santander will ask for time just to give himself an extra second to get back in the box and gear up for that heater. Here's pitch 75 of the night from the lefty Garrett Crochet. Hit on the ground over the mound, charging in Story. Gloves chest high, throws on the run to first, beats Santander by a step. 2 down.
Really tough cutter there from Crochet. Just pounded him in with that pitch. Jammed Santander, hit a little weak ground ball to Trevor Story at shortstop for the easy out.
It's 2 outs, George Springer coming up. I know a lot of people might want to hear some baseball scores, so on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Orioles did break up the perfect game bid. First pitch to George Springer, called a strike, 0-1, and they scored a run, so it's 12-1 for the Yankees over the Orioles in the 7th in Baltimore. 0-1 pitch. Springer takes it low. Also, the Rays in action in Tampa Bay hosting the Royals. Royals are barely scoring right now. They've hit fewer homers than the Blue Jays, yet they've won 6 in a row, just eking out low-scoring wins. And they're up 2-1 on the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa's played some pretty good baseball, too. 1-1. Hit foul, 1-2.
Does that prove that pitching and defense wins ball games?
Sometimes. They're 14-14.
At least,
they're not.
At least the last 6 games in a row.
Yeah. You should ask them about the 6 before that. They lost all 6 of the games before that. The 1-2. Check swing pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, their season has not been that different from the Blue Jays season in many ways. The lack of scoring, obviously, sticking out between those two teams. And also, both have been very streaky. Their pitching has pitched them to a lot of wins in a row at times, then not at other times. 2-2 is outside from Crochet. Ball 3. So it's a full count with 2 outs and the base is empty. 7-2 Red Sox. Bottom of the 6th inning in Toronto. Springer up to the plate. Casey Lawrence warming in the pen for the Blue Jays. A breath from the starter Crochet. And the 3-2. Called inside, ball 4. That pitch is a strike for sure. But Narvaez stabbed at it across the plate and dropped the baseball, and I think potentially cost his pitcher there a strikeout.
Yeah, well, I think the first problem is the fact that he missed his spot by quite a bit. Narvaez was set up on the outside. It was a strike. That pitch was on the inside part of the plate, and like you said, it was just an ugly attempt at catching that baseball. Dropped it. I mean, that's got to be a strike either way.
Yeah, that pitch had a lot of the zone on what's otherwise been a pretty fair zone so far tonight from Mike Estabrook. That's a tough break for Crochet and the Red Sox, but the Blue Jays will take it. They keep hitting in the bottom of the 6th. Springer on first, and Alejandro Kirk is up. Crochet kicks and offers. Called strike. Third base side of the rubber is where he sets up. Crochet's 0-1. Hit down the right field line, slicing toward the seats, foul. And it's 0-2. The long-levered lefty, Garrett Crochet, has completed 6 innings 3 times so far this season. Trying to do it for a 4th time in 7 starts. His 0-2. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Springer with a healthy leadoff first. Crochet looking at him. 1-2. Swing and a fly ball center field. Racing back, Rafaela going toward right center. He makes the catch on the edge of the track to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Blue Jays, and the score still 7-2 for Boston. We're going to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and they're only on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
The stage is set.
Round 1, new rivalries emerge.
Not going to take long to heat up here.
And old ones intensify.
You got to love playoff hockey, don't you?
16 teams, 1 champion. Will this be the year Stanley comes back to Canada?
Strap yourselves in for the best ride in sports.
You can feel the intensity.
Watch every game only on Sportsnet.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here for the Cup.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
7th inning in downtown Toronto. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Blue Jays trailing the Boston Red Sox in the series opener 7-2. 7th inning brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. It'll be a 3rd inning of work for Mason Fluharty, who got 2 quick outs in the 5th before pitching a 1-2-3 6th.
Well, I'm assuming that Fluharty gets Devers and then he's out of this ballgame. Casey Lawrence is warming up in that bullpen in left field for the Jays. Devers, of course, is left-handed. But you never know.
You never know. Devers 1 for 2, a homer and a walk today. The pitch. Fouled back, 0-1.
Like you mentioned last inning, Mason Fluharty better against righties than he is against lefties.
For some reason. I mean, limited sample.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Still, you wouldn't guess. Lefty that comes from pretty much the side. Cross-firing action is 0-1. Misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bat above his head for the DH Devers, 1-1. Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. Devers hit the solo shot that started the 4-run third last time the Red Sox have scored in this game. Fluharty's 2-1. Popped up, foul back into the seats out of play, 2-2.
I'm trying to find a count for the Looney Dogs, but there's nothing up. They usually have a big sign of how many dogs are being consumed, but I don't see that tonight.
It's usually on Schneider's porch in right field. I don't know why it's not up there right now. 2-2. Foul tip, strike 3. Mason Fluharty takes a lap around the hill. He just struck out Rafael Devers.
That's a big strikeout for Mason Fluharty. What a confidence builder, getting one of the best lefties in the game, a cutter above the strike zone. What an outing for him.
2 strong innings from Fluharty. John Schneider headed out to the mound. He's going to take the baseball, and Casey Lawrence is about to come into the game. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 1 out, top of the 7th, 7-2 Boston. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, Ben. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 4 games in the Stanley Cup playoff calendar tonight, including, as we've been discussing all evening, the Leafs taking on the Sens in Game 5. Leafs, of course, entering play with a 3-1 series lead. This game in Toronto down at Scotiabank Arena. Right now, this game is in the second period intermission. It is 1-0 Ottawa ahead of the third period. You can watch this game on Sportsnet and the CBC. You can listen to it on City News 680 in Toronto via your radio. Online, you can listen to it on sportsnet.ca/590 via the mainstream. On the call is Joe Bone and Jim Ralph. As always, after the game, we will have Leafs talk. JD Bunkus, Sam McKee, and Justin Bourne will have the post-game show, and one way or another, it will play on Sportsnet 590 The Fan in Toronto, as well as Sportsnet Plus and on Sportsnet's YouTube page. We have another game going on right now as well, another elimination game. The Carolina Hurricanes are taking on the New Jersey Devils in Game 5 down in Raleigh. Hurricanes entering play with a 3-1 series lead. The Devils actually started this game with a 3-0 lead. They scored 3 straight times. The Hurricanes then scored 3 straight times themselves. Right now, 10.5 minutes to go in the second period. The Devils have reclaimed the lead. It is 4-3 New Jersey in Carolina. You can watch this game on Sportsnet Plus, Sportsnet 360, and Sportsnet East. The late game is from a series that has been wildly entertaining as well as a neutral fan. Oilers-Kings goes just after 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on Sportsnet and the CBC. This series tied at 2. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Casey Lawrence on the mound. Let's get back down to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's a return to a Blue Jays uniform for Casey Lawrence, added today to the Blue Jays roster, picked up off waivers by from the Seattle Mariners. Lawrence, the right-hander, looks in at Alex Bregman. 7-2 Red Sox, 1 out, top of the 7th, the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 37-year-old Lawrence has pitched in 10 prior games with the Blue Jays, 6 in 2022, 4 in 2017. Righty's 1-0. Swatted high down the right field line, fading toward foul territory, and that ball is going to drop in just beyond the slide attempt of Anthony Santander, who's helped up by the fellow Venezuelan Andres Jimenez. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Casey Lawrence isn't a flamethrower. That last sinker was 88 miles an hour, but he kind of throws sidearms, so he gets a ton of run, and he's got a pretty good changeup, too, that also has a lot of movement, gets a lot of off-balance swings.
It's a ton of sinker, sweeper, changeup to lefties, mixing a 4-seamer to lefties as well. Veteran guy, a lot of time in the minor leagues, but obviously some major league experience as well, as we mentioned with the Blue Jays previously. 1-1. High and outside, 2-1. He's also pitched in Japan, and he's pitched to the majors with the Mariners a few different times and the St. Louis Cardinals. Righty's 2-1. Bounced foul, hit off the front foot of Bregman and rolled all the way to third base. He's in some clear pain. It's 2-2.
I feel like Casey Lawrence is probably the definition of journeyman. At least from that like 4A point of view. There's big leaguers, obviously, that have been with 10 different teams or 12 different teams, but Casey Lawrence has been grinding for a long, long time.
He's started almost 300 minor league games. 2-2. Swing and a deep drive. Left field. Racing over to the corner. Miles Straw to make the play. He snags it right before the foul line. 2 down.
Well, that sweeper was just slow enough, 78 miles an hour, to get Bregman off balance. And I think he got it off the end of the bat just enough to keep it in this ballpark. Miles Straw with a nice play in the corner in left field.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. He's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Top of the 7th. 2 out, spaces empty. 7-2 for Boston. The veteran Casey Lawrence steps back, twists and offers. First pitch strike to Trevor Story, 0-1. I don't know if I could even find this, but I wonder how many guys are around that have 100 or more wins in the minors. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, there are barely any traditional starters in the minors these days. A lot of piggybacks, unless you're a surefire bet for the rotation.
Any guy will tell you. And not to take away from records,
right.
Minor league records, stuff like that.
1-1. Outside, 2-1.
But they don't want those records. They don't want the 100 wins. They don't want the home run record, things like that. They want to be in the big leagues.
Yeah. For Lawrence's 64th Major League appearance, over 130 innings. 2-1 pitches, high and inside, 3-1. Lawrence had a great 2022 with the Buffalo Bisons, 23 starts, a sub-3 ERA. His 3-1. Called strike, full count. And to start this year with Seattle, I mean, he was really up and down. They'd call him up, DFA him, wait for him to clear, call him up again. But looked pretty good, 3.60 ERA. 3-2. And he hit Story on the back. Got him with a slow breaking ball, but Story dropped the bat right away. Looked like that one surprised him a little bit. He's all right, thankfully. He'll head down to first.
Looked like that one just got away from him. They were trying to throw that pitch right down the middle. That pitch actually hit Trevor Story right in the middle of the thigh. Can't feel good.
Well, at least he got a lot of meat there to take on the pitch. And Story leading off first as Wilyer Abreu takes a pitch low and away. Ball 1. 2 outs, top of 7. Fans anxious to get up for OK Blue Jays. Casey Lawrence needs 1 more out here. Boston up 7-2. The pitch. Swinging bunt off the end of the bat, rolls foul, third base side, 1-1.
And I would imagine that Casey Lawrence, if he can, would finish this ball game. He'll throw the top of the 8th and the top of the 9th. Why not? Blue Jays have potentially a bullpen game tomorrow coming, so have to save those arms down there.
They've used Tate and Fluharty, now Lawrence. Bullpen would still be in a solid spot if they can limit it to that. The 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, the Blue Jays today bringing Casey Lawrence onto the roster, optioned Paxton Schultz to AAA, so Lawrence is your long man. 2-1. Ripped through the whole right side, a base hit into right field. Story had to wait as that ball shot past his ankles. He jogs up to second. Wilyer Abreu's on first with his 2nd hit today.
And that's just another good swing from Wilyer Abreu. It was a changeup down and away. He waits on it and just hammers that thing through the hole on the right side.
Lawrence takes a quick walk around the hill. New batter up to the plate is the rookie Christian Campbell. 1 for 2, solo homer, line out, and a walk. The pitch, called strike, 0-1. Whether it's Wilyer Abreu or Christian Campbell or Tristan Casas on deck, you're seeing the results of what was a tough couple of years for the Red Sox. The 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Well, I'm not going to sit here and defend moves they made like the Mookie Betts situation. A lot of what they did, while unpopular over the last couple of years, allowed them to stock up on prospects and players that are now helping contribute to what looks like another pretty strong Boston team. 2 outs, the 0-2. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, a lot of guys that aren't gigantic names like Tristan Costas, Christian Campbell, even Willie Abreu. I've mentioned him, but just really solid players. Even Cedar Rafael, I really like what he does out there. I mean, like you said, he's an incredible defender in center field.
The 1-2. Golfed out to center field, fairly deep. Varsho going back now, shuffles to his left and makes the catch to end the inning. Casey Lawrence gets the 2 outs he needs to keep the Red Sox off the board at the 7th inning stretch. Still 7-2 for Boston. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Gary, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance? Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money. Yes, I am. Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance, here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Verdugo for his 7th strikeout.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Bottom of the 7th inning. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors. First pitch of the inning goes to Dalton Varsho. He hits it on the ground to second, and Christian Campbell up with it. Throws on to first. 1 pitch, 1 out for Crochet in the 7th.
Dalton Varsho has actually put together a few good at-bats off of obviously tough Garrett Crochet tonight. Even there, jumps on that fastball, hits a good ground ball to second base, but I'm impressed with what I'm seeing so far from him.
Pitch to Ernie Clement is outside, ball 1. There has been a lot of talk about Varsho's coming back. Will his power change the dynamic of the offense? 1-0. Outside, 2-0. John Schneider wanted to make it pretty clear today when he was talking to the media. He said, we are not asking Varsho to come back and save this offense by any means. They're just asking him to come back and be the best version of himself. 2-0. Called strike 2-1.
Well, it essentially just gives you more options, right? You're not relying on Bo, Vlad, and Santander. You can rely on Varsho once in a while as well.
2-1 pitch, line to center field, and a base hit for Ernie Clement. It's the 3rd time that Clement has picked up a hit off of the tough lefty, Garrett Crochet. And for Ernie, his first hit today.
Not a bad swing from Ernie Clement. A little bit out in front of that sinker on the outside part of the plate. He does a good job just getting the barrel to it and dumping it out in center field in front of Cedar Rafaela.
So Ernie on first base, 1 out. Pitch to Andres Jimenez. Hit weakly on the ground to second. Clement steps over the ball, charging in Campbell. Gloves in, throws on to first for the out. Had to deal with the traffic of Clement blowing by him, and still the rookie Campbell made the play.
Actually a really nice play from Christian Campbell. I thought for a second he would try to flip it to Trevor Story, but Ernie Clement doing a good job quickly getting to second base. And then Christian Campbell just takes the sure out at first.
2 down for Garrett Crochet and the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th. 7-2 Boston, and Crochet still under 100 pitches. He'll deal his 92nd pitch to Miles Straw. Low ball 1.
It's a good pitch. Carlos Narvaez is having a quick conversation with Mike Estabrook back there. Good fastball right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Got called a ball, so it's 1-0, and the pitch is at the top of the zone that time, called strike 1-1.
And now Miles Straw is having a quick conversation with Estabrook.
Straw 0 for 2 today. Strikeout swinging and a ground out to third. The 1-1. Swing and a grounder to third base. Backhanded Bregman. Pumps, throws on to first. Pulls Casas off the bag, but he makes the catch and tags the runner to end the inning. No runs on a hit. 1 left for the Blue Jays. After 7, it's 7-2 for Boston. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Texas Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
In a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
VEASAN, the sports betting network, is back on SiriusXM. Go to channel 158 for informed wagering and fantasy advice from familiar voices like Gil Alexander, Paulie Howard, and Mitch Moss. Plus, SiriusXM mainstays Adam Shine, Rich Gannon, and the guru, John Hansen. We're getting you ready for the upcoming games with a finger on the pulse of the latest news and the moving lines and odds. VEASAN, the sports betting network, is now on SiriusXM 158 and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Eighth inning at Rogers Center. Red Sox leading the Blue Jays 7-2. Thank you for tuning in tonight alongside Chris LaRue, the former Major League pitcher. I'm Ben Schulman. First pitch from Casey Lawrence to Tristan Casas is inside, ball 1. Fifth appearance of the Major League season for Lawrence. First with the Blue Jays. 1-0 pitch outside, 2-0.
And I have to mention this, but Casey Lawrence went undrafted out of Albright College. Made his debut in 2017. I love seeing guys that go undrafted make it to the major leagues. It's so difficult to do.
2-0 pitch, line to right field, sinking and down for a base hit. On 4 hops, picked up on the track by Santander, who twirls and tosses it back into the infield to keep Casas to a single. Undrafted, and probably double as difficult then as it is now, because he was undrafted in a 40-round draft rather than a 20-round draft, and still managed to make it not just into an organization but all the way up to the big leagues. Lawrence sets and deals. Cedar Rafaela takes a strike. 0-1.
And the reason why it's so difficult is because teams don't have anything invested in you. Most of these guys maybe get $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 at most. So if you go out in rookie ball and you have 1 or 2 bad outings, that's it.
0-1 is hit on the ground to second base. Jimenez flips over to Bichette. 1. Throw over to first, not in time. Really hard to double up the speed of Rafaela, but they get the lead runner. Rafaela replaces Casas at first, and there's 1 out.
That was actually a pretty nice play. A little flip from Andres Jimenez. And then Bo Bichette did everything he could to get Rafaela at first base. But like you said, that guy's got some speed.
Big stolen base threat. Cedar Rafaela 6 for 6 swiping bags so far this season. He's got a healthy lead at first, extends it a little, and the pitch now to Narvaez is line to right field, base hit. Rafaela making the turn. He'll bust around second, headed to third, and he gets in there. Throw is cut off. Santander to Jimenez at second. It's runners on the corners, 1 out.
I tell you what, Cedar Rafaela doesn't just run, he floats. I was really impressed with how quickly he tracked down balls in center field. Every time I see him, really. And then watching him run around second base, just floating around. It's so impressive.
It's a very different style of running than the guy hitting right now, Jarren Duran, who's also really fast. They're two of the faster players in baseball, but Duran runs like he's angry at the ground. Rafaela is one with the ground. Here's the pitch to Duran. Left-handed hitter takes a strike, 0-1.
Which one would you rather watch?
I don't know. They're both great. Probably Duran. I don't know. The Duran one's kind of a funny run. We get to see Duran do it more, too. I mean, he's just the superior hitter right now. 0-1. Hit on the ground. Stopped at second. Jimenez, his only play is first. The run will come in to score. Rafaela scores. Up to second base goes Narvaez. It's an RBI ground out for Jarren Duran, and the Red Sox make it 8-2.
Well, Andres Jimenez thought about going to second base for a split second. That would have been too hard of a throw, throwing across his body to Bo Bichette at second base. He chose to get the easy out at first for out number 2.
I think you look at the inning and scores situation, too, and you don't want to turn an inning into something big as Devers takes a pitch up high, ball 1. Two outs, top of the 8th. 8-2 for the Red Sox. 1-0. Fouled off to the left, and it rolls into the Blue Jays dugout. Pinballs all the way back out of it onto the field, 1-1.
I also, and this is just me thinking as a pitcher, I also think about Casey Lawrence, and every run matters for him.
Right.
And I know this is the wrong play, but it would have been nice if Andres Jimenez got that lead runner over there.
Yeah, he was not throwing home for sure. 1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. For the Blue Jays, though, realistically, preventing that one run probably less important than getting outs for Lawrence, keeping him in the game so they don't have to use another guy and burn them for tomorrow. Next pitch is hit on the ground to second, down to a knee. It's picked up by Jimenez. He throws on to first. And that will do it for the top of the 8th inning. The Red Sox score 1 on 2 hits. They leave a runner on base, and they lead 8-2, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Timber Mart. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is the greatest talent show in the world.
Tuesdays on City TV.
This is my favorite act of all time.
Canada's Got Talent is stacked with mind-blowing acts.
Whoa. You are exceptional.
Competing for the $1 million grand prize. Thanks to Rogers.
We are looking at the future of a lot of Canadian stars.
All new Canada's Got Talent. Tuesdays 8/7 Central on City TV or streaming on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kirk smacks it down the left field line. This one's got a chance. It's good.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 8th inning, a pitching change for the Red Sox with Boston in front, 8-2. New pitcher for the Red Sox, right-hander Luis Guerrero enters the ball game. Still young in his major league career. For Guerrero, this will be his 12th career appearance and his third this season. He's off to a great start in his major league career. He hasn't given up an earned run yet in 13 innings. Right-hander gets the top of the order. He twists back, offers home, and Bichette fouls back the pitch, 0-1. Guerrero, born in the Dominican Republic, but attended Chipola College, same school as Bowden Francis, who got the start for the Blue Jays today. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I'm pretty sure Russell Martin and Adam Lowen went to Chipola as well. I could be wrong.
You're right on both of those.
All right, good. All right.
And someone on the Ring of Excellence at Rogers Center went there too. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Pat Gillick?
No. Jose Bautista.
I think I knew that.
Chipola College.
I was just joking about Pat Gillick.
Luis Guerrero, the righty, sets. And the 1-2. Hit high down the right field line, fading toward foul territory, out of play into the seats. Still 1-2. The pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Out at Chipola College, Guerrero drafted in the 17th round in 2021 by Boston. His 1-2. Bichette hits it on the ground right at the shortstop Story. One shuffle to the left and a throw on to first for the out.
He's got good stuff. Mid to upper 90s fastball. Pretty good slider. That one right there was 85 miles an hour, but like you said, still hasn't given up an earned run in his major league career. 13 1/3 innings now. It's really impressive.
Came up last year, early September, when the Red Sox DFA'd Rich Hill for, we think, the final time. Guerrero deals to Vlad Guerrero Jr., swing and a miss, strike 1.
You never know with Rich Hill, just like you don't know with Casey Lawrence.
It's true. Rich Hill's not even pitching right now.
Well, you never know.
I don't think. Although he wasn't pitching to start last year either. Right on right, here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue Jays did see him twice last year, Luis Guerrero. He pitched in this building, Rogers Center, twice in September, and like all of his other major league outings, he didn't allow an earned run. 1-1. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 1 for 3 today. 2-run homer, pop fly, and a flyout. 2-1. Swing and a fly ball hit high, right center field. It's deep, but there's some room in center for Rafaela, who makes the catch just in front of the track. 2 outs.
Well, Vlad just missed that. You can see he has a little smirk as he was rounding first base. Just got underneath it a little bit. Hit it about 10 feet from that wall in right center.
So 2 outs and the base is empty. For the first time today, Santander will bat from the left side. He was 0 for 3, or pardon me, 0 for 2 with a walk against Garrett Crochet. The pitch. Called strike. Guerrero's 0-1. Hit off the end of the bat. A spinning roller foul about halfway up that third baseline. 0-2.
It's a pretty tough changeup, too. A lot of movement on that thing. 88 miles an hour. Almost looks like a split finger.
Long beard on the righty. He sets just below the belt in the 0-2. Hit on the ground, left side. Third baseman Bregman picks it up near short and throws over to first to end the inning. A 1-2-3 frame for Luis Guerrero, who keeps his career scoreless streak going. And we will go to the 9th inning. Red Sox leading 8-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Dance your way into the Kiki Lounge. Sing your heart out to the classics. Or discover a new obsession. All handpicked by me, Andy Cohen, on my very own music channel. Whether I'm chilling or turning up, the Kiki Lounge is the soundtrack to my life. Andy Cohen's Kiki Lounge. Channel 312 and at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ninth inning, 8-2, Red Sox over Blue Jays. Thanks for tuning in. Casey Lawrence steals a first pitch to Alex Bregman, hit foul, 0-1. Third inning of work for Lawrence. Picked up 2 outs in the 7th, gave up 1 in the 8th inning, but completed that frame as well. And now he's looking to finish this one off. No action in the Blue Jay pen. 0-1. Bregman takes down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Casey Lawrence has done everything that John Schneider hoped he would do. Just finishing off this ball game, not really giving up anything to the Boston Red Sox, just that 1 run.
Next pitch is low. 2 balls, 1 strike. .37-year-old right-hander nods, winds, deals, and Bregman hits a hard bouncer through the whole left side, a base hit. Third hit today for Alex Bregman. This signing is really working out for the Red Sox early on.
Yeah, he's looked really good. And the thing that I'm most impressed with is that defense over there. It's so steady. He makes the easy play. He makes the tough play. Just such a rock in that lineup and on defense.
Bregman leading off first base. Trevor Story at the plate. And the pitch. Called strike. Bregman signed with the Red Sox 4 years, $120 million, although there is some deferred money. I don't believe the exact figures are released in terms of how much is and isn't. 0-1. And off the end of the bat. Foul bouncing toward the first base dugout, 0-2. But the pros and cons, you get Alex Bregman, but to do that, obviously they're paying him a lot of money and there's opt-outs built in. So you enjoy it while it's happening right now if you're a Red Sox fan, but if it keeps going like this, he's going right back to the market again. .2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm pretty sure he's a Boris guy, right?
He was a Boris guy. I think he still is, although there's been some movement over the last couple off seasons.
Boris is a big opt-out guy.
1-2. Popped up, right side of the infield. Guerrero walking around Bregman. The first baseman onto the infield turf makes the catch. 1 out.
Good 4-seam fastball. Just 88 miles an hour, but again, his other off-speed pitches, that changeup, that sweeper, they're so slow that the hitter has to respect that. And Trevor Story gets blown away pretty much by that fastball at the top of the strike zone at 88.
By the way, he is a Boris guy, Alex Bregman.
You could tell by the opt-outs.
Boris loves free agency. Free agency makes money. First pitch to Wilyer Abreu, up high, ball 1. 8-2 Red Sox, 1 on, 1 out. Top of the 9th inning. Second will go to the Bet365 standings. First, though, Casey Lawrence in the set. And his 1-0. Hit deep down the left field line. That one moving toward foul territory. It's into the seats out of play. 1-1. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Coming into today, the Yankees 17-12, Red Sox in second at 16-14, Rays 14-14, Blue Jays 13-15, and the Orioles 11-17. 1-1. Abreu takes a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. The way games are shaking out right now, it looks like the rich are getting richer, and the gap is widening just a little bit in the early season as the Yankees and Red Sox look poised to win, and the other 3 teams in the division look poised to lose. 2-1. Lined right field, base hit. Up to second base is Bregman, and it's a 3rd hit today for Wilyer Abreu, as these two have really fueled the big offensive day.
Yeah, just putting together good at-bats. Wilyer Abreu, again, he's impressed me. Every time he stands in that batter's box, he's impressed me with the approach, with the swing choices, and right there is no difference. Hammers that ball into right field.
Still no action in that Blue Jay pen, so it's still Casey Lawrence's game. He's thrown over 40 pitches, pitching now in his 3rd inning. Offers to Christian Campbell, check swing, pitch outside, ball 1.
That was a weird check swing. It was like his whole body went forward, spun around, but that bat stayed back.
Campbell with an interesting stance, too. Closed in his stance, rocks back and forth, almost waddling on his feet. 1-0 pitch is lined sharply, and it's a fair ball down the left field line, bouncing into the corner. Bregman around 3rd. He'll score. Stopping at 3rd base, Abreu. It's an RBI double for Campbell, his 2nd extra base hit of the evening.
Campbell was all over that fastball, 109 miles an hour off the bat, just ripping that thing into the corner in left field. That's a nice swing.
That wasn't a breaking ball hung over the middle or anything like that. That was a sinker in on the hands that he got out in front of. So 9-2 for Boston. Now 14 hits on the day for the Red Sox, who started with a barrage of solo shots but have had some bigger innings, more strung together hits since. Infield remains back with runners on 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And Tristan Casas is up to the plate. The pitch. Called strike. Casas with 2 hits today, including the first time ever he picked up a hit off Bowden Francis. Entered today 0 for 5 with some strikeouts. A 1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox would love to get him going. He's really a top 4, maybe top 5 guy in their order traditionally. But over the last couple weeks, he's hit 6th or 7th because the production just hasn't been there. Batting 187 after his 2 for 4 day today. The 1-1. A little bit low to the left-handed hitter. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And he's a guy that has big power potential. 2023 hit 24 home runs, 65 RBIs. Last year, obviously, not as many ABs, but 13 homers, 32 RBIs.
The 2-1. Hit off the end of the bat, a weak roller to 3rd. Charging Clement. Bounces a throw over to 1st, and it's 2-handed picked by Guerrero for the out. Run comes in to score from 3rd, Abreu, and up to 3rd goes Campbell. So it's an RBI ground out for Casas, and it's now 11-2 for the Red Sox.
Well, that was a nice play from Ernie Clement, but an even better play from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over there with that kind of long hop, handcuffed him just a little bit, and he was able to secure that baseball in his glove for out number 2.
Pardon me, 10-2 for Boston, not 11-2. 2 runs in this inning. Now with 2 outs and a runner on 3rd, Rafaela lofts one foul left side out of play, 0-1. Lawrence on the hill. Rafaela, the number 8 hitter, hitless today. 0 for 4, the pitch. Fouled it off of himself. It's 0-2.
That last sinker from Casey Lawrence came in at 86.9 miles an hour. But remember, it's not a straight fastball. It's a fastball that moves a lot.
Sinking fastball for Lawrence. The 4-seamer not much harder, but gets a little more zip on it. As 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on the changeup, a strikeout to set down Rafaela and send us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Red Sox 10, Blue Jays 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Drywall, an essential part of many, many projects. It's important to get it right and start with quality materials. Essentials you'll always find competitively priced at Timber Mart, like CGC, a recognized giant in the drywall industry for over 100 years and leading Canadian manufacturer of gypsum drywall. Well established and reputable, building pros and contractors know CGC, and you get exactly what the best builders trust. That's as sexy as drywall gets. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He keeps this game tied
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Blue Jays trailing the Red Sox 10-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Jeff Blair's here at Baseball Control. Kevin Barker will be alongside. They will have a very quick edition of Jays Talk once this game is in the books, before we get you over to either Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph for Leafs Sens Game 5 or for Leafs Talk with JD, McKee, and Bourne. Leafs trailing the Sens 2-0 with about 5.5 minutes to go in the third period. Blue Jays Baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Again, the Blue Jays trail the Red Sox 10-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call.
Thank you very much, Joe. A pitching change for the Red Sox, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Red Sox bring in the left-hander Brennan Bernardino. Up 10-2, Bernardino will face 4, 5, 6 in the Blue Jay order, starting with the DH today, George Springer. 2.70 ERA for Bernardino so far this year. That's 3 earned runs in 10 innings. Kind of a quirk, though. He's allowed 8 runs overall, 5 of them unearned. Pitch to George Springer, called strike, 0-1. It's definitely been some up and down defense for the Red Sox this year. Like when the Blue Jays were in Boston for 4 games, Red Sox committed 6 errors. 0-1 pitch, poked out high in the air to right field, moving toward the foul line. Abreu brings it in, and there's 1 out.
Well, Ben, the good thing about unearned runs is you don't talk about them in the arbitration hearing. Right. You only talk about earned runs and what that ERA looks like.
For Bernardino, this is a start that could set him up for maybe the best year of his career, really his 3rd season in the majors, although he pitched a couple of games in 2022. His pitch to Alejandro Kirk, outside ball 1. He is more than likely, Bernardino, the highest leverage lefty that isn't Aroldis Chapman. Chapman often closing games. 1-0 pitch is high. 2 balls, no strikes.
And Bernardino isn't overpowering. That last sinker was 91 miles an hour, but he's really funky, a little bit herky-jerky. So he's tough to pick up.
His 2-0. Called strike. 91-mile-per-hour sinker lands middle bottom of the zone.
And again, that's the most important. I think the most important thing about a bullpen that's put together properly is just a bunch of different looks. You don't have to have a guy that every guy throw 98 miles an hour.
2-1 outside, 3-1.
Eventually, you have to mix in a guy like Bernardino, who's got some funk, a little bit less velocity. I like Mason Fluharty. He's kind of funky.
Lefty's 3-1. Hit off the handle of the bat, a pop-up foul over the first base dugout, out of play. Full count. Blue Jays really behind it from the jump in this game. 2 solo homers from the Red Sox in the first inning. Boston would be up 3-0 after 2 and 7-0 middle of the third, and has never looked back, leading 10-2 in the 9th. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout for Bernardino, and the Blue Jays down to their final chance here. Dalton Varsho in his season debut will hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
How about Dalton Varsho facing a lefty again? He's put together a few good at-bats today against Garrett Crochet. Let's see what he can do against Bernardino.
Varsho steps up, taps the plate once, brings the bat above his left shoulder. Bernardino from the first base side. Hits the zone with a heater. Strike 1. Varsho's 0 for 2. He's got a walk today. Also a strikeout and a groundout. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Varsho will ask for time. One more strike wins the opener for the Red Sox. Blue Jays took 3 of 4 from Boston at Fenway Park and had a good chance to sweep. Boston turning the tables here. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ball was in the dirt, and a tag does not need to be applied as Varsho is going to walk back to the Blue Jays dugout, and that's the ball game. 10-2 the final score as the Red Sox dominate in the opener. We're going to take a quick step aside, and when we come back, we'll get you over to Blair and Barker. Again, 10-2 Boston, the final score. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
One of the best in the game at receiving the ball.
He's about as good of a strike zone controller as the Blue Jays have.
To a team of elite defenders, he is Captain Kirk, a game caller in unison with this pitcher.
Does he ever have a knowledge of the strike zone?
Framing pitches with precision and a steady hand.
Kirk's done it again.
Be one of the first 15,000 fans at the ballpark on Wednesday, April 30th to get your Alejandro Kirk bobblearm. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Hey, this is Kevin Gosman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
10-2, the final score in favor of the Boston Red Sox today at Rogers Center. The visitors come in to open the series, and they opened it in a big way. Bowden Francis and Garrett Crochet starting today, and Boston with early homers got all over Toronto, and all the Blue Jays could really muster against a very, very good left-handed starter, and Garrett Crochet was 2-run homer in the 3rd inning that allowed them to get on the board. It was a homer for Vlad Guerrero Jr., his 3rd to match the team lead, but small consolation in what was a dominating win for Boston. 10-2 was the final score today. 10 runs for the Red Sox on 14 hits, no errors. They left 7 on base. For the Blue Jays, it was 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They left 4 on base. Garrett Crochet ended up with the win to go to 3-2. Bowden Francis with the loss. It was 2-4. And we did see a re-Blue Jay debut for the first time since 2022. Casey Lawrence, just picked up by Toronto, pitched in the ball game in a Blue Jays uniform. He covered the final 2 2/3 to help the Blue Jays only use 3 relievers today after getting only 3 innings in the start out of Bowden Francis. But again, 10-2 the final score. The Red Sox improved to 17-14 while the Blue Jays are 13-16. Toronto picking up only 1 win in its last couple series, and you go back to Game 2 of Seattle. It's been 1 win since that time. So the Blue Jays will look to turn it around tomorrow. We are told it's a bullpen day for Toronto tomorrow, which obviously brings some question marks. So does the starter for the Red Sox, Lucas Giolito, will make his season debut after an injury-filled couple of years. First pitch of that one, 7:07 Eastern. We hope you can join us then. Thank you for joining tonight. From Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors, Show Ali, our host and producer, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Stick with us. It's time for Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. It starts right now.
All right, you accursed Toronto sports fan.
Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker with a very quick edition of Blue Jays Talk before we turn you over to Leafs Talk. Kevin, 10-2, the Red Sox beating the Blue Jays. Bowden Francis, not very good, giving up 5 home runs. And, well, that was the game.
Absolutely. Too many pitches, not enough quality strikes. I mentioned it today on our show. Leverage counts matter against good lineups, right? 2-1, 0-0, 2-0, 3-2. Got to make quality pitches. When you don't, Jays scored 2 runs. It's hard to win against good teams doing that. Not enough sting in that lineup, Jeff. It's consistent now. How do they figure it out? What are they going to do to score runs? You can't consistently do this in the American League East and think you're going to make a run at it.
Nope. The Jays are 13-16. The Red Sox are 17-14. Dalton Varsho did return to the lineup, made a circus catch, which other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s home run, his 2-run home run, Dalton Varsho's catch was the highlight of the game for the Blue Jays. Again, the Blue Jays losing 10-2 to the Boston Red Sox. We are going to step away, I should say, and come back with the Bet365 update, and then we'll pass you off to Leafs Talk. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Of all the things that TimberMart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the TimberMart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as TimberMart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. TimberMart, Canada's building center.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and they're only on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
The stage is set.
Round 1, new rivalries emerge.
Not going to take long to heat up here.
And old ones intensify.
You got to love playoff hockey, don't you?
16 teams, 1 champion. Will this be the year Stanley comes back to Canada?
Strap yourselves in for the best ride in sports.
You can feel the intensity.
Watch every game only on Sportsnet.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here for the Cup.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Blue Jays up 3-2 on a wacky play to give Toronto the lead.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
All right, just a few more minutes of Blue Jays talk before we turn you over to Justin and Ailish for the Leafs post-game show. It's time now for the Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Could be worse, you know?
Really?
It could be the Baltimore Orioles, who the New York Yankees put the wood to the Orioles. I wonder if we could arrange a deal. Trade one of the Jays starting pitchers to the Orioles for one of their hitters.
For what?
I don't know. 15-3, the Yankees pummeled the Orioles in Baltimore, so the Red Sox 10-2 win over Toronto. I was going to say it doesn't look that bad, but let's face it, it does. The other team in the American League East was active as well, the Tampa Bay Rays. They lost 3-1 to the Kansas City Royals. So the American League East stands thusly. The Yankees are 18-12. My Red Sox are 17-14. My Rays are 14-15. Barker's Blue Jays are 13-16, and Barker's Orioles are 11-18. The good news, as they say in baseball, is that you get to do it all over again tomorrow. No idea as of yet how the Blue Jays are going to handle the pitching in that game. Casey Lawrence, we believe, was going to appear in that game. It's going to be a bullpen day. But Casey Lawrence was summoned to pull the Jays' chestnuts out of the fire, I guess would be the way to put it, tonight. And again, a 10-2 loss for the Blue Jays to the Boston Red Sox. Very quickly, Kevin, before we pass it off, Dalton Varsho made his return to the Blue Jays off the IL, hitting in the sixth spot, struck out. It was 0 for 3. Drew a walk, had an entertaining catch in center field after he slipped and fell. Look, not going to ask you to judge anything off of 4 at-bats, but did you see in his approach, and I'm talking about his mechanics, did he look like he was trying to do what he was doing in spring training when he did have a good spring training?
Absolutely. One fluid move, better chance to maximize collision with the baseball. That's all he's trying to do, right? Don't start, stop. Don't start, stop, and start again. It's hard to catch up velocity trying to do that. He wasn't doing that tonight. It's going to have a better chance of helping this team. They're going to need a lot from him. It may not be fair, but boy, the way this lineup just doesn't have any sting in it, somebody's got to step up. Hopefully it's Dalton.
Yeah, there was just not a lot going on for the Blue Jays today. Bo Bichette had a couple of hits. We mentioned Vladdy homered. Straightaway center field, but really there was not much else going on after that. You know, a lot of the I was going to say offensive magic, if you want to call it that, but a lot of the supplemental offense we'd seen from people like Andres Jimenez, Ernie Clement. I mean, it's just that they've just dried up. I mean, I think it's 11 games in a row now with 4 runs or less, which is pretty close to a club record, if not tying a club record. And as Joe Siddle said during the telecast today, folks, there ain't no help down in the minor leagues. I mean, there just isn't. They've got to. Yeah. It's not the end of April yet, Kevin, but you get the feeling. You just get the feeling something's got to change. Has to change. As
much as Bo and Vladdy mean to this team, this lineup, you would think hopefully they take away something tonight with their at-bats, right? Bo 1-0 fastball down the middle for the single. The 0-2 fastball down the middle for the double. The Vladdy 1-0 fastball middle up, a little up for the 2-run homer. It's telling them something. If you're walking away from that thing and you're thinking to yourself, we hadn't been slugging, but boy, I did tonight. How did I do it? What would I have been saying on the show for the last, 5 days? Try and make it as simple as possible. Look right down the middle. You get them, you're going to slug, or at least have a better chance of slugging. Hopefully those two dudes take tonight into tomorrow and carry that on for about a week or two in advance and can help them string together a few wins.
7:07 will be the first pitch tomorrow, the second game of this 3-game series. And the Jays will then wrap up that series on Thursday and then welcome the Cleveland Guardians into town. So there you go. The Blue Jays are 13-16, a 10-2 loss to the Boston Red Sox at the Rogers Center. So thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Bracebridge and Huntsville. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986. So protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection.
Welcome back to Motion Leagues Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Major League Play-by-Play is now on SiriusXM Radio and online with the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game. Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game! It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just walked it off.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
That's it! It's a World Series win for LA!
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and online with the SiriusXM app.
You start playing with the arrangement and you keep guys off balance. So I'm interested to see what happens moving forward with the Blue Jays if they do decide to go that route.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Minnesota Twins. Guardians on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 848. Twins on Internet 857. 6:35 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the New York Yankees. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 843. Yankees on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Reds on Sirius 161, XM 177, and Internet 847. Cardinals on Internet 865. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Chicago Cubs. Pirates on Sirius 138, XM 178, and Internet 861. Cubs on Internet 845. 6:45 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. Phillies on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 860. Nationals on Internet 869. 7:05 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the Kansas City Royals. Rays on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 866. Royals on Internet 852. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Boston Red Sox. Jays on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 868. Red Sox on Internet 844. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mets on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 858. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:40 p.m. Chicago White Sox face the Milwaukee Brewers. White Sox on Sirius 159, XM 182, and Internet 846. Brewers on Internet 856. 8:05 p.m. Texas Rangers face the A's, with the Rangers on Sirius 160, XM 184, and Internet 867. A's on Internet 841. Spanish Feed on Internet 870. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros taking the Detroit Tigers. Astros on Sirius 146, XM 183, and Internet 851. Tigers on Internet 850. 8:40 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the Atlanta Braves. Rockies on Sirius 108, XM 185, and Internet 849. Braves on Internet 842. 9:40 p.m., San Diego Padres take on the San Francisco Giants. Padres on Sirius 85, XM 187, and Internet 862. Giants on Internet 863. 9:40 p.m., Seattle Mariners take on the LA Angels. Mariners on Sirius 132, XM 186, and Internet 864. Angels on Internet 853. 10:10 p.m. LA Dodgers face the Miami Marlins. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 854. Marlins on Internet 855. Spanish Beat on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 871. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball, from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, Channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Minnesota Twins. Guardians on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 848. Twins on Internet 857. 6:35.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you! Thanks for hanging out with us. This is TSI Mike, and now that we've got your attention, we're bringing you every single game of the NBA and NHL playoffs while supporting SickKids Hospital in Toronto through our Playoff Pulse campaign. Let's grow our global community. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell, and join the action.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Joe Bowen here, voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Playoff Pulse on Toronto Sports Insider is all about playoff thrills and making a difference, with 100% of Leaf playoff stream revenue going directly to SickKids for their life-saving treatments and research. We're aiming for 100,000 insiders to boost our impact. So subscribe now and be a part of this incredible movement. Holy Mackinac! Let's show SickKids Hospital we're here for them. Join us today.
Hey you, yeah you, Easton Cowan, Leafs prospect here. I'm loving these Playoff Pulse live hangouts. Subscribe and turn on the bell to catch every game. Keep the chat buzzing and let's cheer for SickKids together. See you in the chat.
Hurt and missed the season. And so you think about what the Red Sox did this offseason. They add Bregman for 3 years, $120 million. Obviously, there's deferrals in there. And then Walker Buehler, the 1 year, $21.05 million deal. You know, no pitcher who received a 9-figure contract had done so with fewer than 800 innings pitched. He's throwing 224, but it's a big time contract and it can max out at $180 million with some bonuses in there as well. And so the escalators that are in it. So it's a big investment, but I think in some regards too, with the progression that he has made, he probably, if it's a straight line of health and production and improvement, he probably left some money on the table. But here's a guy that went through Tommy John, and I'm not judging him for taking this deal and knowing that at 31 he can opt out and still get another mega contract. I think it's the right thing for him for security purposes, for the Red Sox to lock him up for the long term, and potentially for him to get that next contract as well. It makes a lot of sense for both sides.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Minnesota Twins. Guardians on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 848. Twins on Internet 857. 6:35 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the New York Yankees. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 843. Yankees on Internet 859. 6:40 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Reds on Sirius 161, XM 177, and Internet 847. Cardinals on Internet 865. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Chicago Cubs. Pirates on Sirius 138, XM 178, and Internet 861. Cubs on Internet 845. 6:45 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Washington Nationals.